on the gridiron or courtside, you know what time it is. It's
Sports Plus Life. Sports Plus Life.
ringside or front court or field pass, we ballin', no. Knuckle up or buckle up, I tell it like it is when I'm on my show. Home run, slam dunk, knockout, or got to go.
Sports Plus Life.
Yeah.
Sports Plus Life.
Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's really good? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. You feel me? Oh, you already know it's Super Bowl week, baby. It's Super Bowl week, so you already know what's going down. Guess what? Guess what? Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it all the way off. Now cut. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, man, how's everybody doing today? Please allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, and this here is Sports Plus Life, that there sports podcast where we talk about all of the necessary topics in sports and all of the necessary topics in life. And how is everybody doing today? Oh, man, it's a little cloudy outside. A little cloudy outside today in Richmond, Virginia, but you know what? Today is Monday. It is mañana. February 7th, 2000 of the 22, and this is Super Bowl week. But before we get into sports, because it ain't just the Super Bowl we're going to be talking about today in regards of the NFL, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. But before we do all of that, definitely let me send out my shout outs to all of my people in the VA area and outside of the VA area. Much love. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful week. And let's keep those love bombs going, my black and gold fam. You know I love you guys. Special shout out to my homeboy Doug. Today is his birthday. Happy birthday, bro. Yes, happy birthday. Holding it down in Germany. Still in the military, holding it down, living overseas in Germany. Ain't heard much from him since the team caught that L in the first round. I'm trying to tell everybody all year, don't get your hopes up. But it is what it is. Happy birthday, regardless, bro. All seriousness, happy birthday. I hope you and your family are good. Love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Can't wait till you come back home, homie. But he is doing his job overseas in Germany. But yes. So definite shout out to my fam. Definitely a shout out to my Springer fam. Keep them love bombs going. I'm only doing the positive energy. I love the positive energy. I can feel the positive energy. It's something that's really the only thing that I really want to be around. Trust and believe me when I tell you I'm just trying to be around good vibes only. Okay. But anyway, without further ado, people, let's get to it. We've got so much to talk about today between head coaching issues, between the NBA trade deadline, but we're going to get started at the very, very main event. This is the week. We had a bye week this past week with the Pro Bowl going on. Yeah. But we will discuss now Super Bowl 56 between the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals in SoFi in Los Angeles, California, home of the Los Angeles Rams. And like I said last week, I cannot wait for this game because you know what? I have no dog in the fight. I really have no rooting interest because if you followed me throughout this entire football season, when have I rooted against either team? With the exception of when Cincinnati played Denver. When Cincinnati played Denver in early December, that's the only time I can remember that I've rooted against the Bengals. I might have picked against the Bengals, but I never rooted against the Bengals, and I've never really rooted against the Rams, particularly when they got my boy from Denver, Von Miller. So I have no dog in the fight. I'm just sitting here really hoping for an absolutely outstanding Super Bowl. Now, with the exception of Wild Card Weekend, these playoff games have been phenomenal. We can only hope that the Super Bowl will be as good as Buffalo or Kansas City a couple weeks ago. We can only hope that the Super Bowl can be that good, which means if it's going to be that good, we may be heading for overtime in this Super Bowl. But I'm not going to give my picks yet, but I'm just going to go through the matchups. And I will have a couple of caller guests on here, and I'm going to ask the same question. First, I'm going to ask myself this question. Who is under the most pressure in this game? Well, let's see. What do we have here? We have on the side of Cincinnati, we have Joe Burrow, second-year quarterback, first full season in the NFL, a national champion, a Heisman Trophy winner, and in his first full season has the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that has not been in the Super Bowl since 1988, back there in his first full season as a starter. On the other side, we have Matthew Stafford, what many will say is the most talented quarterback prospect, particularly with his arm since Dan Marino. He's the one we all marvel at Patrick Mahomes doing the sidearm passes at different angles. Matthew Stafford was doing that first. Has a rocket arm. Bruce Arians, coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, says that's the only guy that I will come outside and watch warm up because he can spin that football. All the years in Detroit, he's gotten a pass pretty much from everybody except me about his career with Detroit. 3 playoff appearances with Detroit, 3 losses. And I have said, hey, if he's that dude, then he can take a franchise that has been used to losing. He can take them to the promised land. Look at the quarterback he's facing in Joe Burrow. But be that as it may, he's right now, so far, he has delivered in justifying this trade for Jared Goff. But the only way to me and to a lot of other people that he can fully deliver and prove that this trade was justified is he has to win the Super Bowl. Hell, Jared Goff took them to the Super Bowl in 2018, but they have to finish the deal. So Matthew Stafford, is there pressure on him? Is there pressure under him? I would think so, because Matthew Stafford is thrown for so many yards, had so many fourth quarter comebacks. You would figure that if he can add a Super Bowl title to his resume, he's a lot for a surefire Hall of Fame ballot bid. Most definitely, I would automatically put him up past Phillip Rivers. As a matter of fact, I already have put him past Phillip Rivers because Phillip Rivers never got to a damn Super Bowl. I mean, it's the truth. So now we have that quarterback comparison. Now let's look at the weapons that these quarterbacks are going to be going into battle with. Let's look at Joe Burrow. And you know, if you've been listening to this show throughout the whole season, I have been high up on the Cincinnati Bengals weapons. I have said they are going to be a problem for years to come. I didn't think that year would be this year, but damn it, it's this year. And damn it, we are here. We got money back Joe Mixon, running back, star-studded running back. Third in the third in the NFL in rushing. And then you got those receivers, Jamar Chase. Oh my goodness, Joe Burrow's partner in crime at LSU when he was a Bayou Bengal. Now he is a Cincinnati Bengal. Jamar Chase, #1 draft pick for the Cincinnati Bengals. Remember when everybody was saying, hey, he's forgotten how to catch the football during the preseason? All he did was break the rookie record for receiving yards in NFL history that was set last year by his college teammate, Justin Jefferson. Good Lord, now are we actually wondering why that people are thinking that 2019 LSU squad may be the greatest football team ever in the history of college football? So Jamar Chase breaks that record. Oh, and his running mate, T. Higgins, 6'4" out of Clemson. You know, T. Higgins was playing in that game against Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow in that national championship game. He's got over 1,100 yards, and he showed up big time in the AFC championship game when Uzomah got hurt, catching 6 for 103. And then, oh, by the way, you also have Tyler Boyd. Hey, let's not forget about Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd has gained over 1,000 yards a couple of times and has proven himself to be a bona fide #1 receiver. Remember at the end of the A.J. Green era in Cincinnati, who was Andy Dalton's go-to guy? It was Tyler Boyd. He's no slouch, and he's only 27 years old. I'm telling you, Cincinnati is loaded. And by the way, I know C.J. Uzomah has a sprained MCL. They're saying it's looking good for him to play. So weapons on top of weapons on top of weapons. And here's the best thing about Cincinnati's offense. They are playing with house money. I know you probably heard that a lot, but there were no big free agent pickups. There was no trades or anything like that. Now, let's look at what Matthew Stafford is coming into battle with the Los Angeles Rams, if you will. Now, is their running game as formidable as the Cincinnati Bengals? No, I don't think so, even though I do not sleep on Cam Akers. It is a miracle that he's able to even play coming back from an ACL injury that he suffered during the preseason. I mean, we continue to prove these ACL injuries wrong year after year, but he actually has played pretty well, with the exception of that Buccaneers game where he damn near gave him the game because he couldn't hold on to the ball. But if he gets off slow, you got Sony Michelle. who is a more than proven running back out of Georgia, and this is his 4th year in the NFL. And here's the funny part. Remember when the Rams went to the Super Bowl in 2018 and lost to the Patriots? Who was the Patriots starting running back? Oh, it would be Sony Michelle. That means he is a Super Bowl champion, and he knows how to get yards. He knows how to get them yards when it counts, when it matters most. Now, let's look at the receivers. The Rams are top heavy as fuck at the receiver position. Cooper Kupp, the NFL's Triple Crown winner, most receptions, most yards, most reception touchdowns. Cooper Kupp has had a Hall of Fame year. It would be nuts if Cooper Kupp didn't get an MVP vote from somebody after this type of season that he has had. And then on top of that, you got the big I can't even say free agent acquisition. Well, I guess technically he was a free agent, but you picked up superstar Odell Beckham when Cleveland cut him loose in the middle of this season. Now, here's the crazy thing. Everybody was saying, hey, I think Odell may be shot. You know, we don't see the explosiveness, blah, blah, blah. Wow, what a difference a change of scenery makes. Like I said last week, everybody was looking at, hey, was it Odell or was it Cleveland? Was it Odell? Was it Cleveland? I think Odell has proven that it was Cleveland, because did you see the way that he showed up in the NFC Championship game? First 100-yard receiving game since 2019 for OBJ. And me personally, I think that he is in the perfect position. I do think he's going to come back to the Rams. I think he is going to be in a perfect position because he doesn't need to be the focal point of the offense. I don't know. I think this position, I think he's made money. 29 years old. He's made his money. And I still think he'll get paid pretty good by the Rams, but it's not going to be a franchise wide receiver. You know, he's not going to get $100 million. He's not getting a Michael Thomas contract. But again, he doesn't need it. LA is a perfect spot for him. That offense is a perfect spot for him. And I guarantee you he's going to be looking to show up and show out on Sunday at the Super Bowl to really shut people the hell up. And then who else you got? Who else do the Rams have in that top heaviest F receiving core? Oh, youngster speed demon Van Jefferson, the son of Sean Jefferson. I used to watch his daddy play a lot when I was a kid. This kid can run. So you have receivers that can cover all levels. You have your short route runners like Kupp, you have your intermediate route runners like OBJ, and then you have your deep speed demon Van Jefferson. So Matthew Stafford is going to have his weapons. And of course, you have Tyler Higbee, who also sprained an MCL in the NFC Championship game. But if y'all paid attention, that dude who's their backup, Blanton, he can play. I like that dude. Matter of fact, I like him better than Higbee. I would have him more in the offense than Higbee because this dude he's built just like Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts may be a little bit skinnier, but I like that guy Blanton. So we have the offenses. So who would you give the advantage to? To me, it's dead even. I would almost, when I look at the offense, I would almost favor Cincinnati's offense just by a wee bit because I think about what Joe Mixon means to that offense. Joe Mixon has a bigger effect on that offense than either Cam Akers or Sony Michelle. Those three receivers for the Bengals are deadly. I mean, they are deadly. And we know Cooper Kupp is a proven commodity. We know Odell Beckham is a proven commodity. There may be some questions and consistency when it comes to Van Jefferson. What are you questioning about Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd? I'll wait. not a damn thing. But with that being said, let's take a look at the defense. Let's start with the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Now, here's the thing. While all of the attention has been going to Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and that offense, and rightly so, every playoff game thus far, the Cincinnati Bengals defense has had to close the deal. And that's the difference now between this team as to why they're in the Super Bowl as opposed to why they weren't a one-and-done team. Early in the season, the Bengals had some head-scratching losses because they didn't know how to close the games. This is a Cincinnati Bengals defense that in the playoffs has learned how to win. Hendrickson sets a franchise record in sacks this season. Then you got Hubbard. You see the way they played the second half against the Kansas City Chiefs? This defense, they got the interception at the end on Derek Carr, week 1. They got the interception on Ryan Tannehill to set up the game-winning field goal. They got the interception on Patrick Mahomes in overtime. I mean, it is not just Hendrickson and Hubbard. You have to look at the safeties, Jesse Bates and Von Bell. You also have to look at the cornerbacks, Eli Apple, Owuzie, Hilton. The Bengals, they have pieced together a very talented defensive group that has come together. They're hot. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that they're an elite defense, but they are a hot defense right now. They're opportunistic. They're forcing turnovers, and that's really all you can ask for when it comes to playoff football. So, and once again, the Bengals are playing with house money. Like I said, all of those guys that I named, maybe with the exception of Jesse Bates, are free agent pickups. But like I said, they weren't pickups that knocked your socks off. You are like, wow, this person went there. This person went to Cincinnati. No, this ain't even the defense of 7-8 years ago when they had Geno Atkinson, Michael Johnson, and Pac-Man Jones and those guys. No, but this team has learned how to win, and they've learned how to win at the right moment, at the perfect time. Now, let's go look at the Rams defense, shall we? Now, you want to talk about star power on defense? The Rams have star power on defense. Starting up front, you got Aaron Donald. People may think that he is the best football player in the game, period. Best football player. And then on top of that, you got Leonard Floyd, who's been his running mate for a couple of years. But then you go out and you make the trade to my Denver Broncos for my favorite player, Vaughn, Super Bowl MVP Miller. He is built for games like this. This is what my dude lives for. Then on top of that, you got names like Jalen Ramsey, All-Pro, possibly, best cornerback in the game. And then you dust off Eric Weddle and you say, hey, man, we're having some injuries in the back end of our defense. Can you come on back, please? He says, sure. Am I going to get a title out the deal? Well, maybe. And again, this defense is top heavy. I mean, honestly, when I think about that Bengals versus Titans game and how the Titans got 9 sacks, and I said coming on the show the very next week, I said, I don't give a damn if the Bengals win the Super Bowl, which is now a possibility. I said, they have got to fix that offensive line. They gave up 9 sacks to Tennessee. Now you got Aaron Donald, Vaughn Miller, Leonard Floyd coming down your throat. No pun intended. I mean, good Lord. I mean, what do you think might happen? Hey, Joe Burrow's legs are going to have to be in turbo mode because Vaughn Miller, I think he's going to make a case to win his second Super Bowl MVP. Like I said, dude lives for these games. All the focus is going to be on Aaron Donald, but that's great for Vaughn. That's great for Leonard Floyd. That's great for their linebackers. Well, their middle linebacker. But then there are matchups that I love in this game, like Jalen Ramsey versus Jamar Chase. Oh, my goodness gracious. And Jamar can win that matchup. Jalen Ramsey, it's not impossible for him to be had, but this is so exciting. Again, I cannot wait for this game. And I said I was going to have some callers, and I do, and I got my cousin, friend of the show. You guys know my family. David, what up?
What's going on, American?
Yeah. Hey, man, you know I'm talking about that Super Bowl. Who you got winning this game?
I want Cincinnati to win it, but you know what? Realistically, I'm gonna go LA.
You gonna go LA?
I'm gonna go LA and LA.
You gonna go LA and LA?
LA and LA. West Coast.
West Coast, Mark.
West Coast, Mark. Pretty ass Mark.
So what are you looking forward to most during the Super Bowl?
You know, at halftime. It's gonna be a historic halftime. For real. Rappers, R&B, bunch of black people. I mean, Roger Goodell is probably going to be under his desk hiding the whole time. For real. I'm like, he's going to be scratching his head like, why did I agree to this? I mean, minus Eminem, and Eminem already is 90% black himself.
Right.
So, I mean, you can be like, oh my God, there's so many black people. Oh my God, no. Yeah, halftime, bro.
Hey, what you think Snoop is gonna do, man?
Snoop ain't gonna be out to perform until like late in the third. Snoop gonna be so high. They gonna call like the last time out in the third quarter, and Snoop gonna come out. Middle of the field, Snoop gonna come out. Like, Snoop, halftime been over for like 15 minutes, brother. I don't care. You still gotta pay me.
Oh, bro, I can't wait till that halftime show neither. But what do you think the final score of the game is gonna be?
Man, honestly, babe. Man, I'm gonna be a buck with you. I'm gonna say 12. 15-12.
What?
15-12. Straight field goals. All day.
You think the game is going to disappoint that much that it's going to be nothing but field goals?
Yeah, bro. I'm not saying at this point it's going to be a defensive battle. Field goals all day.
Well, you know, whenever we look for offensive shootouts, we usually get the defensive battle, but I don't think it's going to be all field goals, 15-12, but you think the Rams are going to win?
LA, man. LA and LA.
They're going to be sea-walking all over the field, huh?
Well, if we get to that point, yeah, Roger Goodell will censor half the game. If they sea-walking up that joint, I'd be like, oh, now there's gang affiliation in the joint? Oh, my goodness. No. And what is a mark? Ice Cube just pop up for no reason, but yeah, we be clubbing.
Yo, I really hope somebody calls Ice Cube to the stage. I really do. We talked about this. Last night. I really hope Cube gets on the stage because it's in L.A.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but it could be so many people that could pop up in the joint. But it's like, Game, YG, but it's like too many black people as it is. That's what I'm saying. He had to save face and get Eminem, but he was like, he don't know who Eminem is, and then he's like, oh my goodness, he's black too.
Well, what if Mary J calls up Method Man? That would be dope.
Oh, way too many black people. Way too many black people.
He said, what the hell does New York have to do with this?
Right. And he don't know Meth's backstory. The Wu-Tang Clan? I know the KKK clan. I know that clan. There's a Wu-Tang Clan? Oh my God. Now there's clans.
Hey man, Wu-Tang got so many damn members. Half the stadium probably been part of the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh yeah. They probably half of them probably got on Wu-Tang t-shirts underneath their damn jerseys or whatever.
Hey, weren't we members of Wu-Tang Clan when we was like in 7th grade or some shit?
Yeah, we were Little Dirty Shit Kicker and Asshole by Nature.
Hold up. Lil what?
Little Dirty Shit Kicker and Asshole by Nature.
Hey, bro, I hate you. I hate you. Hey, I hate you.
Yeah. We was honorary members of the Wu.
Oh, shit.
And we was down by affiliation. Yeah, I'm out here cussing on all here or whatever. But anyway, we was official affiliates of the Wu.
Oh, man. But either way, I can't wait. Man, you ain't working during the game, are you?
What's the game, Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday I'm working. Have a good day, sir.
What? Okay. Well, look, I'm going to let you go ahead and get back to it, bro. So you got the Rams winning.
All right, bro. Hey, but I know you hit me up and let me know what's going on. I'm still saying field goals all day, but still. Okay.
All right, bro. Go ahead. Get back to what you're doing, man. I'm going to get at you, bro.
Take your time, man. I'll see you later.
Yes, sir.
Later.
All right. I hate him. Good Lord, he gets on my damn nerves. He said, little dirty shit kicker. Oh my goodness, he gets on my nerves, man. I told you I was going to have a couple of calls in to get some more predictions. You know we going to have Tony on here, but I'm probably going to get my man Calvin on here too, man, just to get some analogy, to get some intake on the game. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, David is a clown. But his prediction is the Rams, and now only in David fashion will he say the game will be all field goals and that the Rams are going to win 15-12. How about that? And next up, I got my homeboy Eddie on the line. He's a Cowboy fan, but we'll forgive him this one time. But what up, bro?
What up, fam?
Ain't nothing much popping, man. So who you got? Rams or Bengals?
Got to pull for the Rams, man. I want to see Odell Beckham get his ring, man.
You want to see OBJ get his ring?
Yeah, man. Got to be Stafford too, man. I think Joe Burrow, he's young. He got plenty of time to get back there. He got a good squad.
Okay. Well, what are you looking forward to most from the game?
I just want to see a high offensive high scoring offensive game, but I don't want to see no boring defensive game. I just want to see high scoring back and forth. Keep it exciting.
Well, I just got off the phone with David, and David's prediction for the game was He thinks it's going to be a defensive battle, all field goals. He has the Rams winning 15-12.
I'll say more 31-28.
31-28?
Yeah, I think Rams get the last minute field goal. Cooper Kupp get up in the field goal position with a great catch.
Okay, well, who do you have being the MVP?
Matthew Stafford.
You got Matthew Stafford being MVP?
Him and Cooper Kupp. There's a toss between them two.
Okay.
More like Cooper Kupp, though. He been balling out. I'll go with Cooper Kupp if I had to pick.
Okay, you said you would go with Cooper Kupp if you had to pick. Okay, no problem.
No doubt.
All right. Okay, well, so you got the Rams winning. You got Matthew Stafford being the MVP. You have it being 31-28, correct?
No, Cooper Kupp being MVP, bro.
Oh, Cooper Kupp being MVP.
Yeah.
All right, well, you know what? I wanted your prediction, so go ahead and take your sleepy ass back to sleep.
Hey, it was what happens when you work hard, bro, overnight.
You said what?
That's what happens when you working hard and work overnight, bro.
But you was off yesterday.
I was up all night watching Power, bro.
Oh, bruh. I tell you, bruh. Power, man. I'm gonna tell you though, real talk though. When I think about it with Power, I think that season finale could have been a lot better. Because I looked at it again and I was like, you know, there was one thing I was looking for was I wanted to see Lorenzo versus Mecca.
Yeah, you'll see Lorenzo versus Monet because Diana can't keep her damn mouth closed and keep her eyes out of her nose clean, man. She's so damn nosy, bro. She made me so angry, man. I was looking in the bag and promises, I promise. That's where you look in the bag. You're going to tell your daddy.
Okay.
That was Zeke. She to blame for Zeke death. And Lorenzo hot-headed ass, bro.
Well, I
got
hope.
a real question for you, bro.
What?
Before I leave the podcast, I want everybody to tell me why the hell Lorenzo Lake got a damn big tat on his neck. Somebody showed me that joint.
I'm weak. Yo.
Look on my Facebook, bro. I reposted because dude posted that shit in the group, but I never noticed it because I can never see it on TV. But now he froze that shit. I was like, yo, what the fuck am I looking at? And everybody on my page just looked at Facebook like, yo, he do got a dick on his neck. That shit was crazy, bro.
What?
Yeah, way too long, bro. Like, I've never seen a gangster with that type of tat.
And now I gotta go back and look at it again. See, I won't never look into that.
Nah, me neither, bro. But dude posted shit in the power group, man. He was like, yo, real talk. Ain't gay shit. He said, yo, why the fuck this nigga got a dick on him? And I'm like, I'm looking at this, bro. Let me repost this shit with myself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my Lord. But hey, look. I ain't saying no names. I just got a question. Yammed up?
Nah, bro, not yet, bro. They know after 5, let me get all work.
Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna get at you, bro.
No doubt, bro. Hey, Power 4 Forces was dope, though.
Man, we talking about the Super Bowl. We ain't getting into Power yet, even though we did just have a little segment on it. I tell you what, though, when we talk about Power, I will give you a holler.
No doubt, bro. Hey, look. Some people gonna be mad. Cowboys, you be there.
Man, nobody want to talk about no damn yamp-ass Cowboys. We talking about teams that are playing now, not teams that wish they were playing. Anyway. Can't nobody understand a word that you saying right now.
I know. I said it too fast, but I said that Jerry Jones got to go. He got to quit it. He got to die. I hope he do one of the other teams. I can do
And as your words continue to muffle, I will say I will hit you up later, bro, because we're talking about the Rams and the Bengals, not those yamp-ass, sorry-ass, dusty-ass Cowboys. Peace, nigga. Oh, that's my homeboy Eddie, man. That's good dude, man. He come through for a brother 100, you know. But, you know, I'm going to keep it real. We ain't talking about no sucker-ass Cowboys. We talking about winners on here. Biatch. And they do not fit the mold. But next up on the line, I got another one of my brothers, my truly my brother. Friend of the show, ain't been here in a while, but my nigga Sean, what up, bro?
Oh, we can say nigga?
Yes.
Hey, nothing, bro. It's good.
Man, not much, bro. Every time I try to get you on for one of them funny true stories, I can't never get in contact with your ass.
And because those stories I don't want to be told.
Hey, you know that one story I was gonna leave out, but we can tell them other stories about,
I don't want none of that.
falling down the steps.
I'm good.
But anyway, bros, who you got in the Super Bowl?
Honestly, man, if it ain't my Eagles, I don't really care too much. But I would have to say if I want to see anybody win, it would be the Rams. Odella.
Okay, well, I was on the phone with David earlier, and David said he thinks it's going to be a defensive battle. He thinks the score is going to be 15-12, all field goals.
Nah, I don't think so. I think the Rams gonna put on a show with their offense. I really think they are in so far.
Well, what are you looking forward to most from the game?
Again, my Eagles ain't in there, but let's see. I don't know, man. I'm all about defense when it comes to games, but like I said, I think it's gonna be an offensive game. Any defense, I really believe Aaron Donald may show out a little bit, and I think the inexperience from Joe Burrow is probably going to show in the Super Bowl. I think that's going to be too much for him.
You think the Super Bowl going to be too much for him?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, I tend to think where you say you think Aaron Donald is going to show out, I think Von Miller is going to show out. All right. So David said what he's looking forward to most is the halftime show. Eddie said he's looking for an offensive shootout, and you said you a defensive minded person.
Oh yeah, but we just talking about in particular because the Super Bowl. You know me, I'm all about the commercials.
Yeah, I'm talking about whatever. I'm talking about the game, the halftime show, commercials, whatever.
Me, I like the commercials, man. I like to choose who's the winner of the year on the commercials, man. I love it.
I love to see what movies is getting ready to come out too.
That too. That's part of the commercial.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's you find out the good shit that's coming out during the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So you think that the stage is going to be too high for Joe Burrow? I disagree with as far as thinking the stage will be too high for him. I think the Rams have an advantage is the Cincinnati's offensive line is horrible. I mean, you figure they give up 9 sacks to the Titans. What the hell is Donald Miller and Floyd going to do to him? But I don't think the moment will be too high for Burrow. I think he's that even keel. I just think skill position, and I actually think as far as skill positions, I actually think the Bengals have an edge. When it comes to running backs and wide receivers, I actually think the Bengals have an edge. But I think the difference is going to be them two lines, the Bengals offensive line versus the Rams defensive line. I think I'm leaning towards picking the Rams. I haven't made a pick yet, but I think that'll be the big difference.
Okay.
Because
where you coming from?
I mean, think about it. I love the matchup of Jamar Chase versus Jalen Ramsey. I love that.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be one to watch.
Yeah, I love that.
Jamar Chase ain't playing, but neither is Jalen.
But you gotta think about, Bengals got T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Uzama. These are good skill position players. Joe Mixon. Like I said, I like their skill position players better than the Rams, even though Cooper Kupp was a Triple Crown winner and Odell Beckham is starting to look like Odell Beckham. What are we going to get from Van Jefferson? What are we going to get from their tight end position, Blanton or Higbee? Those are the questions.
Higbee injured, ain't it?
Well, Higbee,
he's still like day-to-day right now.
Yeah, Higbee and Uzama, the tight end for the Bengals, actually have the same injury, a sprained MCL. Now, the Bengals have come out and said Uzama should be good to go. Like, it's looking good for him. But I actually, if you remember the NFC Championship game, the backup tight end for the Rams, Blanton, was beasting.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't too much into that, the game, I ain't really.
He said if it ain't the Eagles, it don't make sense.
Bro, honestly, bro. Like, I watch highlights and stuff like that when it comes to other teams and stuff like that, unless it's a very interesting game. But for the most part, man, I bleed green, bro. If we ain't on TV, I ain't looking.
I can dig it. Like I got off phone with my man Eddie, and he was talking about the Cowboys. I said, look, man, ain't nobody talking about no rusty, dusty, bum-ass Cowboys. Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. We all about our squad, bro.
Yeah, but we talking about winners over here. Cowboys don't fit the bill.
We ain't no damn winners neither looking on the outside.
Yeah, but you don't hear as much about the Eagles as you do the Cowboys for no goddamn reason.
Oh, yeah, bro. That's because America's team.
That ain't America's team no more, bro.
Unquote.
America's team now is the Patriots. Ain't no damn Cowboys.
Hell no, not no more. Tom Brady gone. You don't hear shit from the Patriots fans. They quiet as shit.
Well, all you hear from the Cowboys is this: maybe next year. That's all you hear from them.
Oh yeah, it's always maybe next year with them Cowboys, bro. Always. I don't know, man, but they got that Micah Parsons, bro. I'd do anything to get that boy.
Well, that's fine. That's just one player.
Yeah.
No, look, he is a beast.
My thing is they got all that talent over there, John. They can't do nothing with it. That's what
Exactly. That's why I don't talk about teams that don't need to be talked about.
Hey, we're talking about them now.
You're on the big. I'm changing the subject. I'm changing the subject. We talking about the Super Bowl, the Bengals and the. Okay, well, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something in regards to the game.
Honestly, bro, I didn't really. To be honest, I didn't really look too much into the game because I wasn't even planning to watch it. You know?
Well, bro,
honestly, so I didn't really pay attention. You see the highlights every time I watch Sports Center. All they do is talking about them or either Tom Brady, and I just turn that shit the hell off. I don't want to hear none of that.
Oh yeah, I turn it off when they talk about Tom Brady because I don't give it. I'm not invested in Tom Brady. I don't give a damn.
I ain't invested in them dudes neither. But it's a Super Bowl. Like I said, I watch it because it's the last spectacle, last season. And you ain't no hater. I watch them play a little bit, but once it start getting unwatchable, which I think this one would be good enough to watch. I didn't expect the Bengals to get there. Honestly, just being a second-year quarterback, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and they was really needed a line. Their line wasn't that good. That's why everybody was talking about them getting Penny Sewell, but they never got him, and nobody really expected them to get here. But Joe Cool looking smooth over there. I ain't going front on him. They look good, and they got a young team, so they're gonna be here for a good while. They haven't invested as much as the LA Rams have invested in the squad with their picks and everything like that. So they still got time to grow. And the Rams is like, this is their year. That's why I see them winning because they going all in. If they don't win, boy, it's a
and that leads to my next question. Next question I was going to ask is who's under more pressure, the Bengals or the Rams?
The Rams, of course.
Right.
Yeah, the Bengals are a young team. Nobody really expected them to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, come on, nobody even picked them, but everybody picked the Rams, and they were still making moves, even though they picked I'm going to say let's pick the Bucks. But the Rams were up there, too. Nobody put the Bengals up there with Joe Burrow and them. The boys of that new squad, so yeah, the Rams.
The Rams made the highlights first by making a trade for Matthew Stafford, right? They got off to the good start, then they started to slip. Then you trade for Von Miller, right? Okay, you trade for Von Miller, to help shore up that defense. Then you get Odell Beckham. And I remember a post that you put on Facebook, and I agreed with 100%. You said the Rams better win the Super Bowl. But the crazy part about it is, even with all those picks, they still were not called to come out the NFC. You either were calling the Packers or you were calling the Bucks. But I agree with you. I think the Rams are under immense pressure because, I'm sure.
All the talent.
Yeah. I mean, they're the star-studded team. They're the star-studded team.
And the investments that they put into it to get to where they got to go to. With Matthew Stafford, they invested. I mean, look. The first-round pick quarterback, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff, yeah. Jared Goff. He was a high pick, and then you end up trading him along with some high picks to get Matthew Stafford, which, nobody really... Matthew Stafford was always known as a good quarterback, but, he did have Calvin Johnson, so he still had opportunity to make a name for himself over there.
Exactly.
So, he had all that talent, but you can still see he needs talent to get where he got to go. He got an arm on him, but that boy be making some dumb decisions sometimes, too. But... So I don't really trust too much in him because it was a big thing in turnovers with him. All the pick sixes and turnovers he be throwing.
It sure was.
You never know. Like I said, it's a good game. Like you said, the skill positions are good on both sides of the ball. I like Joe Mixon coming out of college. I wanted him. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, I wanted him. I ain't gonna lie.
T. Higgins.
Yeah, all them boys. You know me looking at wide receivers.
Yeah.
I wanted them. But I'm happy with Devontae we got. I really hope. I'm sorry to get off my team. It's my team, bro. No. I'm going to talk about him. You feel me?
Well, look. Yeah. I shut the Cowboys down mainly because of utter hate. But they really, to me, they really get too much undeserving attention, and it gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
But
because that was the team that everybody really watched growing up, so it's like them and the Steelers and stuff like that.
Well, you gotta factor in the Washington Commanders now.
That's what we really need to be talking
That
about.
fucking XFL name.
What the hell was that? That's a default team on Madden. That they used to give us in
But
the
no,
day.
remember it on when we had Dreamcast NFL 2K? That was one of the
man, I'm
default
telling
team names.
It was a default team. That's why I'm like, what the hell? A bunch of grown-ass rich motherfuckers sat in a room and came up with the Commanders. It's beyond me. I have no idea.
Uniforms are sweet, but the name is corny as
They
shit.
should have kept the Red Wolves. I heard that. It should have been anything but the Commanders. What the hell was that? Oh God! To be a Commanders fan, you
The
gotta call it
Commanders.
now because it's legitimate their name. Like
They sound like an Arena League team.
WC Wick.
Commander. Hey, when I first heard that, I thought about Small Soldiers.
I thought they were about to change their colors to red, white, and blue and shit.
I
like
did
that,
too.
man. That shit is stupid.
The
bro.
uniforms
That
is.
shit-
Hey, look, I ain't gonna hate on the uniform. The uniforms are dope, but the,
Oh, well, they better have some dope uniforms with that dumbass name. They invested all their time in the uniforms. And they had a nerve to put a hype video out after that, like somebody was supposed to get hype about the damn Commanders. Like, oh my goodness gracious, bro.
that was one of
I
them
see
joints
some-
where they announced the name. You heard nothing but crickets.
The Commanders.
Tumbleweed blew across the
What the hell?
stage.
Yeah, I don't know what they was thinking, bro. I'm so glad I'm not a Commanders fan.
I mean, really.
Nah, bro, it pissed me off, but I really thought they were going to do something this year, honestly, because I knew this was supposed to be a rebuilding year for us, but they just need a quarterback. They get them a quarterback. They need a quarterback in the worst way.
Oh,
They should
the
go after Russell
Commanders?
Wilson. The Commanders.
Hey, you never know. They might get Jimmy Garoppolo. You might
Oh,
get
yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because Jimmy on the trade block because they got Trey Lance. They got to do something over there.
What the main teams I've heard for Garoppolo has been either Washington or Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. I know he need to go to Pittsburgh. I just heard about that today.
Yeah.
When I actually did pay attention to some of the stuff. I'm about to take a deep dive because, it's my time of the year since we ain't playing the off season. Yes, sir.
You said you about to take a deep dive?
Yeah, bro. I got to look at these prospects. My
Yeah, I
God.
know. Well, I'm going to tell you what, as far as the draft goes, it's not much coming. It was really nothing special coming out about the quarterback position.
Oh, no.
Actually,
no,
one of
sir.
the top prospects for the quarterback is the quarterback of Liberty.
Mhm.
I'm talking about Liberty in Virginia, Liberty, LU.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You talking about the Willis boy?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want them to get no quarterbacks in Philly, though. They better shut up and let Jalen do one
Nah,
more thing.
man,
I want
Jalen
all
is good where he's
first-round
at, man.
Defensive picks.
Yeah.
I wish we could get Derek Stingley Jr. You hear me?
Well, yeah, no, Philadelphia created an identity for themselves that took them to the playoffs. Now you build around your quarterback strong suit and shore up that defense. Fucking right.
Man, I need Stingley. I need Devin Lloyd. I need all of them. All of them.
Well, let me go back to the Super Bowl for a second and an answer to what you said as far as the most pressure. I definitely agree that the Rams have the most pressure because they're the Hollywood team. Cincinnati's playing with house money. But what nobody has really talked about is how Cincinnati's defense has shut the games down at the end of each playoff game. Their defense, while none of them are homegrown, pretty much all of them are free agent picks. They're hot. That's why when you say nobody expected Cincinnati to be here, they're hot. Their defense is hot because all of those guys come from somewhere else. Hendrickson, who set the team record in sacks, he's from New Orleans. Hubbard, New Orleans. Von Bell, New Orleans. Damn, did they rob the Saints dry?
They were champions.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
were championship pedigree, bro.
Yeah, well, they have a championship defense. Awuzie from Dallas, Eli Apple from the Giants. Damn, he was with the Saints too before he got there.
Yeah, he was. Eli Apple, man, boy. For somebody who be getting burnt, he be talking a lot, boy.
Yeah, and Hilton, he got Mike Hilton from the Steelers,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
defense, like to do that to the Chiefs twice in a month, to let the Chiefs go off in the first half, then you totally shut them down in the second
I
half.
thought that thing was over after that.
Me
first
too.
half, boy. But that's the thing about football, boy. You can't count people out, boy. And that's the thing. When you start, we thinking it. Sometimes they got to be thinking it too. Oh boy, we about to dust these dudes. Let that foot off, Here they come.
Well,
come
Eli
back.
Apple
But
made the play of the
came
game.
back last time, too, though.
Eli Apple made the play of the game right before halftime when he stopped Tyreek Hill to get that touchdown. That was the play of the game.
Dumb dummy should have kicked that field goal.
Yes.
Trying to be greedy.
Andy Reid outthought himself.
He thought but that's Andy Reid, bro. He always get you. He'll get you to the promised land, but always near the promise, he choke up. He got that one. He finally got that monkey off his back when they won that Super Bowl with that hit. But he's always been somebody that can get you close enough, boy, but just can't get you there, bro. And I don't need to start doing stupid stuff, man. I don't know what he doing with all that. That was uncalled for. He should have kicked that field goal, and that gave the momentum going into the half, and that was it.
Yeah, because you think about it, the Chiefs got the ball back to start the third quarter.
Yeah.
So they could have been up 24-10.
Yeah.
And then the Bengals didn't allow another point until the last play of regulation. And, and Kansas City got the ball in overtime. Everybody cried about that. Remember with the Buffalo game. So
Yeah.
Kansas City got it, but then the Saints intercepted them.
Everybody cries about all that stuff.
I mean, not the Saints. I mean the Bengals. I'm thinking about all the Bengals players that were Saints.
Yeah.
But so I think people need to pay attention to this Cincinnati defense because their second half defense, like, I tell you what, if the Rams get up 3 scores on them, they better not let up. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't see that as being impossible. I see that being possible. But should the Rams get up by 17 or 21, they cannot take their foot off the gas.
Man, they better not, because them boys know to come out that second half with adjustments.
Yes,
and
that's one thing I give.
They used to call them, or is that the Panthers? No, they used to be the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm the Zach Taylor, their coach. He makes great adjustments at halftime.
Yeah.
I give his little young ass credit for that. That's the crazy thing. Both Super Bowl coaches are under 40. This is where we are in the NFL.
Yeah, man. Ain't none of them black, though.
So I was just going to say, serious question. What do you think about the coaching situation?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing every year. Like, every time I turn on the TV and they go with their little sad faces every year at this time, I'll be like, here we go again with this. All these white coaches have been hired and none of them are black. We're so sorry about the Rooney Rule and we're going to make, I want nobody to hear that crap, bro. They never, it's the same thing every year. Somebody who doesn't have any kind of experience that gets that job, but then they talk about when it's time for the black coaches to get the job that they need experience. Like, it's the same thing every year, bro. Eric Bieniemy should have had a job. I still believe Deuce Staley should have had a job all the time. Just coming out the Eagles. I mean, they should get their opportunities, and they've been under, and Deuce been under Andy and Doug. And both of them winning coaches. Like, I mean, we got Super Bowl coach, and then 2 Super Bowl coaches. Under their coaching staff, he's been in their tree the whole time, bro. And you get Mike McDaniels.
Bro.
That's crazy, bro.
When I heard about Josh McCown maybe being the coach of the Texans.
Yes.
And this motherfucker, all he coached was high school.
High school, yes. That's crazy. But what are you going to do?
Exactly.
But Brian Flores putting it out there. But he going against a powerhouse. I can tell you that. Kudos to my man for doing that. Cause
I give none but respect to Brian Flores. But at the end of the day, you can't make these billionaires. You can't tell them what to do with their money.
You can't.
Now the thing that I think is the real powder keg is what they really need to find out to see is if it's true about the Miami Dolphins owner trying to pay Brian Flores the tank.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Because if that's proven to be true, I believe he's going to lose the team. Because what I want to know
he gotta lose the team.
Huh?
He gotta lose the team. That's
fixing games.
Yeah, you throwing games, bro. And then think about who he could have told that they were going to be catching L's. Even if he's been doing this in the past. I mean, you got to look into all that if he's doing it right now. The
betting community, especially now that gambling is such a high
so
thing.
Big in sports, bro. Like, that's crazy. They got the inside track and all that, man. You already know.
And then the same thing with the Cleveland Browns, because Hugh Jackson now he then came out and said, well, they told me to pretty much they gave me a plan where winning wasn't even an option. So you could potentially have 2 NFL teams on the market. Now, if that happens, and this is in a perfect world, then I think you have no other choice but to have those 2 ownerships go to black people.
Man, they ain't gonna just get him Jones to black.
You don't have to give it to him.
I mean, not give it to him, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean because it's like a whole thing when they try to get buy teams. Hell, your team up for sale right now.
I was getting ready to say, you do know the lead candidate to buy the Denver Broncos is a black man named Robert Smith.
I hope he do get it.
So do I. And they said they are, and they've been looking at this nigga currency. I don't mean to say, I say that respectfully.
Like, yo, bro, with Black History Month.
No, I say that respectfully. But they've been looking at his currency, and they've already found out that there's only 5 NFL owners that are richer than him.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft, Shad Khan.
You better be rich with that mustache.
Right, because he got a modern day bicycle handlebar slave mustache. He does. He got a General Buckhalter's mustache. Yeah, but yeah, it's only 5 owners that are currently richer than him.
Yeah, but I mean, you would think all the money that he let Jay-Z do, he would try to attempt to get dabble his hands into a sports team on football. That's where the money is. Even if it's still in basketball, they got that stuff in basketball. But Brooklyn, man, you put your money over there in football, bro. That which basically is the United States.
Well, he took his money out of Brooklyn when he had the agency company.
Oh, well, listen to me. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, because you know that's a conflict of interest. You're not allowed to have both. Yeah, but that's what the real thing is. You know, when we talk about, well, we don't have any black coaches, let's take it a step above that, because we actually do have more black GMs in the NFL, but what we need is black ownership in the NFL. That's what we need.
You need a black owner team. You definitely need a black owner.
We need black, and the thing about it, we only see, and the reason why the NBA gets a pass on that is because there's only one black owner in the NBA, Michael Jordan. Of course, that's what you have to do if you're black. You have to be the greatest ever, arguably, at your sport to become an owner. But at the same time, there are 30 NBA teams. 14 of those coaches are black. There's 30 NBA teams, but 14 of those NBA coaches are black. And then you might as well say half, because Eric Spoelstra, he's a minority. He's a coach in Miami. That's why the NBA gets a pass. The NFL looks openly racist against black coaches. I mean, think about how great Mike Tomlin is. Mike Tomlin is going to be a Hall of Fame coach, and he's the only one left standing.
You already, Mike Tomlin. I don't think Lovie Smith should have lost his job, and even in Chicago, that was stupid.
He shouldn't have lost his job either in Chicago or Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa they had Jameis Winston. We all know who that guy is.
Well, they didn't have Jameis Winston when Lovie was coaching them.
Wasn't he like a rookie?
No, they had what's Logan? Not Logan Thomas. What was the boy name? This was right before, because remember when Raheem Morris was the coach for them for a hot second? Not Raheem Morris. Yeah, it was Raheem Morris. He replaced Lovie. I think Raheem Morris had Jameis as a rookie. Lovie Smith, I don't remember who he had. Mike Evans as a rookie.
Michael.
The wide receiver.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. But no, Lovie shouldn't have lost his job. Jim Caldwell, he shouldn't have lost. Bruh, he was the coach of the Lions. How you take the Detroit Lions to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years, and you have a 9-7 season and you lose your job? And this is the Detroit Lions, bro.
That's where they at right now.
Yeah, exactly. They fired him for Matt Patricia because, he coached under Belichick. This nigga ain't never had more than, 4 wins in the season.
That damn pencil was sweeter than he was. That motherfucking pencil was more famous than he was. That shit, he had Matt Patricia. But
Matt Patricia.
You ain't hear nothing about that boy no more.
He went back to Belichick.
He still, but you ain't hear nothing about him.
No.
Everybody know it.
He went back to, you know why he went back to Belichick? Because Brian Flores went to Miami. Because people forget, remember the Super Bowl a couple of years ago? The last time the Rams was in the Super Bowl. And they only scored 3 points. Who was the defensive coordinator?
Yeah, Brian Flores. Yeah,
exactly.
That's what we're talking about. You think that Bill Belichick put that nugget out there for him?
Kinda. Actually. Kinda.
I kind of think that he like, look, man, they doing you wrong over there, because Bill Belichick the one that helped him get a job in Miami. Tommy did.
Well, see, the only thing is Brian Daboll, the coach, both of those guys coached under Belichick.
But still, I mean, still though.
Well, see, this is what's lost in it. Even if it was an honest mistake, Belichick loves the New York Giants. That's people forget about that because he's been with New England for so long. Belichick was the defensive coordinator under Bill Parcells for their 2 Super Bowl wins. So he was with the Giants for a long time. Matter of fact, there was talk about him a couple of years ago, maybe stepping down when they let Tom Coughlin go. Say, well, hey, maybe they'll give Belichick full control. So he always has an inside man on the Giants organization because he really, and it's just so funny that he lost to them twice in the Super Bowl. But he loves the Giants, and they keep him in the loop. Now, that could have been an honest mistake, but I almost tend to think that he, like you said, kind of put that nugget out there for him.
Mm-hmm. Help him right along the way, boy. But ain't nothing gonna come about that. I mean, they got it all over CNN and stuff like that, which is different because it's on the worldwide net, not just on sports, entertainment and shit like that. But I can do nothing but take it like one more step, put another pin on somebody's helmet or some shit like that.
Something like you ain't never lied.
It's the same thing. I guess they still hiring the same motherfuckers they want to right now in your face. Like, okay, whatever.
All of these people that they hiring are all clicked up.
Yeah, they all are from the same tree.
Yeah, they either from the McVay tree or the Kyle Shanahan tree.
Yeah, the Shanahan tree. Yep, the same motherfuckers.
But yet and still, what's the boy name? The defensive coordinator from San Francisco, DeMeco Ryan. DeMeco Ryan. They gonna say that they need to see more from DeMeco Ryan, and this was his first year as defensive coordinator. But Brandon Staley only had 1 year as a defensive coordinator for the Rams, and he got the job at the Chargers.
Mm-hmm. It's always they need to see more when it comes to black coaches. Are you joking? It's the same thing. I need to see more. I need to see more. They were about to get Josh McCown a damn job until all this came to light, bro.
Yep.
And that's the only thing that they fucked up is Josh McCown's spot. Because
Yep.
he ain't got the credibility. They would be like, it would help Brian Flores' case if they hired Josh McCown right now, because it was always about qualifications, and he has none.
None.
He
None.
has none at all.
He won't even qualify as a quarterback.
Yeah. So all Brian Flores did was fuck up Josh McCown hiring process, which he'll probably get hired next year sometime when everybody forget about it, or again when it comes back to the end of next season. And people start getting fired again. Oh, we still only have one black coach. We need to get one black. Every year, it's the same thing. Every year, nobody even gives a shit until it's time to come up, and then it comes on TV, and then the Super Bowl gonna come, and then they gonna hire all their coaches, and they gonna talk about it for a week or two, and then you don't hear shit about it again until next season. That's the cycle that it comes.
It's pretty much rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat, bro. Rinse and repeat. How long has Rooney Rule thing been out?
Since 2003, bro.
You listen to me, bro. It's the same thing every year. Ain't
Since
shit.
And when the Rooney Rule came out, it was 3 black head coaches. We down to 1.
We got less, yeah.
We got Mike Tomlin and Ron Rivera, so 1.5.
Shows on there. We got that one black dude. That's Mike Tomlin. He's the one black dude. He's the one black dude in the show in Malibu, man. There's the one black dude, Mike Tomlin. That's him. Once Mike Tomlin retired, they're gonna have to get another one.
Not the show in Malibu.
Yeah, he's Zach in the Power Rangers. He's the one black dude. Nigga did pop like get this shit. Damn shame, bro.
He Black Mike
Damn
like in The Hangover.
Yeah.
Like Black Doug. He Black Mike.
Yeah. You were like, where the hell this nigga come from? No, he ain't supposed to be over here.
Oh man. Well, shoot. Before I let you go, you want to talk? Hey, we talk about everything else. You want to hit some basketball up?
You talking about talk about basketball?
Yeah.
Man, I don't give. Look, listen to me. Kobe Bryant at the time, bro. That's my guy.
Facts.
You know what? I haven't been. I was like, man, I'm gonna pay attention to this league. You know what I'm saying? Because they got Westbrook and LeBron and AD. Boy, we got some bums. If you want to talk, let's talk. You talk about them bums, them Lakers.
Well, look, this is what I said 2 weeks ago in regards to the Lakers. You know how everybody's blaming Westbrook, bro. I'm not blaming Westbrook no more. Do you know why? Because LeBron, AD, and what the fucking GM name?
Pelinka.
Rob Pelinka. They have 13 years of game film on Russell Westbrook. You know what the hell you was getting. You knew what you was getting, bruh.
They should have got Buddy Hield.
They should have got Buddy Hield.
But that's LeBron's fault, though.
Yeah, and AD. That's what I'm saying.
his fault.
Everybody is sitting there trying to clown Westbrook, trying to blame Westbrook.
Man,
This
AD
is who the hell
should
he is.
AD shouldn't have no say in nothing, boy. That boy glass, boy. Every 2 seconds, that boy hurt. Boy, he just came back from injury and got hurt again. They had to sit him down just caution, boy. Like, come on, you've been out for like 3-4 weeks.
But now they,
come back about
but see, everybody trying to make it a big deal because Westbrook got benched in overtime on Saturday against the Knicks.
Yeah, because they say they win better with him on the bench than him in the game, which is crazy because Westbrook. My thing is, bro, if he can't play with them or something you want him to be able, it's something that maybe they need to consider, but Westbrook probably wouldn't consider is him coming in with the second unit, bro.
Yeah, he would never consider that.
He would never, but that's because it's Westbrook and it's who he is, and he can only play when he's by himself and it's just aggressive. Look at him. Every time you see a highlight, boy, he throwing something up. He not comfortable in LA, bro. He not comfortable with that team. There's too many eyes on him, even though eyes been on him, but not really. You know what I'm saying?
Not like with LA. Not like
LA.
Like last year with Washington, nobody gave a shit.
And not with the expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like when you with LeBron, it's like championship. Everybody talking about playoff championship. You got to do that. You better do that. And especially with them being with AD and all of them, you better do that. But that's them too coming up with all of letting him bring in all them old ass, slow ass dudes.
And that's
like,
really what it boils down to. It's an old ass roster.
It's old as hell. Bro, they can't even play defense. None of them play defense,
bro. Melo never played defense in his prime.
But they ain't think about that before they build a team. Like, you got to be able to play against these dudes. These no names on all these other teams, but they still get balled in the NBA for a reason.
Bro,
and you got a bunch of old cats trying to bring the band back together and do op and shit like that. No, bro, you need some young legs out there that can run around with these kids, bro. These kids is big and strong and fast, bro.
Bro,
that's crazy.
When this roster was put together, I thought about the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2018, LeBron's last season there. The beginning of that season, they started with a bunch of names. Dwayne Wade, Dwayne Wade was with Cleveland. They had Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and the shit wasn't working. And come trade deadline, everybody got traded. Everybody got traded. That's except for Kevin Love. That's the only person who didn't get traded. That's when they got Larry Nance Jr. LeBron carried them to the finals. That was 4 years ago. But I think the same thing is going to happen. But the only issue is because I clearly they want to trade Westbrook. Nobody's taking that contract.
No.
Nobody.
Who would? You can't win with LeBron, bro. Who would, bro? You can't do it on the biggest stage. Who would? Because you can't take my team nowhere. And the only team that would take him is somebody who ain't really got nobody right now.
Well, I heard about Westbrook for John Wall again.
Yeah.
And I can't.
Didn't they get traded for each other before?
Yes, they would. Yes. Yeah, they were traded for each other before. They both have ridiculous contracts, but if you're talking about as far as contract goes, that makes the most sense because both of them have outrageously bad contracts. And John Wall has barely played this season, not because he's hurt, because Houston is literally paying him to sit the hell at home.
That's a damn shame. I wish it was something rough. I wish it was some money in the world that could, or they had some kind of way to be able to get Ben Simmons from Philadelphia. I would take Ben, bro.
Daryl Morey ain't doing that.
I know Daryl Morey ain't doing that because who you getting? A bunch of old ass motherfuckers and they stupid as hell over there for not letting that boy go. See, let me tell you something about these people that did Ron. I know it's all about how you look in the public eye and shit like that, but first of all, you ain't ever gonna fuck with my money. And this is what you want to do. You want to play me and find me. Man, I'll come on that damn court. And every time I get the ball, be Steph Curry from half court, nigga. You ain't gonna take my co-op. You gonna put me on this bench.
You talking about Ben Simmons?
Yeah, Ben Simmons.
Man, Ben Simmons is soft as hell, bro.
Man, please.
He's soft as hell.
Man, emotionally, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Is doo-doo.
Yeah. I don't blame Daryl Morey for doing what he's. I don't blame Daryl Morey for doing what he's doing with Ben Simmons.
Man, get that man some guidance, bro. Why? What is it doing for your team and Joel Embiid, who need people, who you got a roster right now that you can get anybody that's going to help you?
You know what I think?
Which you don't need a name. You got Joel Embiid. What you need a name for? You got Maxey. What you need a name for?
You know what I think
Simmons.
Philadelphia is doing? I think
That's
Philadelphia is. I honestly, unless they trade Ben Simmons this season, I don't think Philadelphia really cares about what the end result of this season is going to be, because I think they know. Daryl Morey knows that in the offseason, James Harden's going to be a free agent, and he's going to come right to him.
James Harden?
Yeah.
So you wearing James Harden?
Huh?
So you just waiting for him to let Ben Simmons go?
No, they're not. No, Ben Simmons will still be under contract, but you can
Man,
you
so
can
what
have
you
Ben
gonna tell
Simmons
Ben
under
Simmons if you
contract,
think
trade
Ben
him,
Simmons
but
gonna
still
still
get
come
Harden. So let me give you an example. Say you wait till the season's over, right? Ben Simmons doesn't play. You could then get James Harden free agency for nothing, free agency, and you could still possibly trade Ben Simmons for Damian Lillard. So then you could have the best of both worlds. Why do you think they haven't traded Ben Simmons yet?
Man, they ain't trading no damn Damian Lillard for no Lillard.
I don't think Damian Lillard is going to be in Portland next year.
They ain't getting no Lillard.
But what I'm saying is you can still get Harden on the free agent market where you don't have to give up anything to get him, because Harden is now unhappy.
You can still go get somebody for Ben Simmons and still get Harden in free agency if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I don't think Philadelphia is going to. I think Philadelphia, if they're going to trade Ben Simmons, I think they want to maximize their value. They already asked about trading him.
But what's the value of some other team going to give you of somebody big when ain't nobody trying, and when everybody know what kind of player you got on your team? A hostile player who don't want to play for you. I'm not giving you nothing good for him.
And that's why he hasn't been traded yet.
Exactly.
But
so
what I'm saying is,
so what's going to happen? What's going to be different later on?
But that's why I said I don't think they care about what happens this season, especially if they know they're gonna get James Harden in free agency.
They know they're gonna get him though.
You seen how Harden's acting in Brooklyn?
That don't mean he gonna go to Philadelphia.
I would stack some coins on that one, that he's going to Philly next year.
Man, you can stack coins on it, man. That man, anything can happen in free agency.
That's
next
true.
Year.
That's
Any
true.
kind of trade can happen next year with another team that possibly be a better destination for him or a better opportunity for him, and he could go play that. And you never know in free agency. So ain't no definite unless they went to him, they personally self, and he was like, you know what? After this season, I'm coming to y'all. Like that's
We will revisit that when that time comes.
Yeah, come on, man. Ain't no definite. You better get something right now. Ain't no definite that Joel Embiid gonna be healthy next year.
Well, that's not a definite that he gonna be healthy tomorrow.
Exactly.
But
so why
but he's not trading Ben Simmons. He's not.
I know he ain't. I know he ain't.
And I don't blame him.
It's a pissing contest right now, bro.
I don't blame him because for one, I think Ben Simmons is acting like a fucking idiot.
Man, look.
He acting like a soft, brittle ass, and I fuck with Ben Simmons as a player, but he's acting like a soft little bitch.
Man, look. He
Nigga, make a free throw.
He did do fuck up. He did. I mean, yeah, he can make a free throw. Everybody don't shoot free throws, bro. Everybody don't do that shit. Everybody ain't good at
All right, well then redeem yourself. Don't cry about it. Step on the court and right your wrong.
But you as a teammate shouldn't be saying, "Oh, we losing because of you." Who does that?
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Well, yeah, but his teammate did basically. Like, come on now.
Well,
like,
prove him wrong.
Fuck with you.
Prove him wrong. Man up, nigga. You make it man up.
I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna go to another team, come back and dunk on your dog ass, show you who the fuck you need. That's how I'm gonna prove you wrong. Oh, you don't need me? Oh, it's my fault, nigga? My fault. You ain't had no turnover, your sorry ass ain't over here doing the same thing. Oh, but it's my fault, okay? Alright, come back and goddamn Air Jordan your ass. He gonna get them niggas. He gonna get them, bro. And he gonna get, bro. He better not, like, when he come back to Philly on another team, if he so happen to be on another team, he better have a whole security unit, boy. He better get ready for them booze.
Oh, man.
Gonna light his ass.
Oh, man. Look, we know how Philadelphia is now.
Hey, come on now.
Philadelphia's ruthless.
They're my peoples, but I ain't on the basketball side, but they still the same.
They rip shit. They ruthless.
They closer.
Oh yeah, yeah. They got more access to you.
They could get their hands on you. After Latrell Sprewell, somebody out there,
Oh Lord, choke the shit out of them.
Choke the shit. Give me that damn cheesesteak.
Got the cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Oh, one of them will sound good right now though.
Yeah, you ain't never lied.
That's
But
right.
yeah,
I'm
bro.
cooking some ribs
bro.
tonight.
But that's cool though. Like I said, we'll see how it all plays out, bro. I'm more. I don't really know. I'm more on Ben's side, man. Let that man go. I know you can't. I know you can't give everybody what they want. I know they supposed to man up and play out their contract they signed for and all that bogus shit. But you got your coach and your teammates saying, "Oh, we lost because of you, bro." It's 4 quarters, bro. It ain't just because of me. It's a team game. Everybody knows you're supposed to take your own faults and not put your brother under the bus. They put him under the bus. Fuck y'all. I'm coming back and dunking on y'all. That's how I feel.
Oh man, like you said, Kobe Bryant for life, nigga.
For life, bro. I ain't never gonna stop shooting Kobe. That's my boy.
But anyway, bro, let me get up out of here, bro. I'm gonna send you the link when this is done. This is fun.
All right, bro, for sure.
How them kids doing, man?
Man, you know, and I'm surprised they ain't come up here and interrupt this damn show.
Right.
I guess they playing with all these millions of toys when they got there.
Well, you know, London been telling me for the last 2 weeks she want her Jackson.
Tell her she can, bro, she can definitely come back over here.
Oh, yeah, I already know.
You need to come over here and keep
Bro, I tell you, I'm gonna do some project shit when I come over there. I'm not gonna say what it is. You just gonna see.
And don't do nothing project.
No. When I say
Bullshit,
project, it
man.
ain't gonna be nothing that affect your neighbors or anything else or anything like that, bro. I'm
Boy,
just telling you.
must
You
be bringing
just
some MD22.
no. Hell, I ain't bringing that liquid crack, nigga.
Nitrate. We need to drink Cisco, nigga.
Bro, let me tell you something. I went over my mama's house the other day on my break, and I saw
Yeah.
sitting on her counter a big ass bottle of Wild Irish Rose.
Hell
I said,
yeah.
"Oh my God."
That shit goes straight to your kidney.
I said, "Ma, is this you?" She said, "No, that's him." I said, "Good Lord." I said, "This is that 7-Eleven liquor."
Living no good. Hell yeah. Anytime you get liquor from 7-Eleven, you know you about to go to the emergency room. That's not legit. Them ain't grapes in there.
Hell no. Hell no. I ain't messing with none of that shit since I was in my early 20s, nigga. No.
Fucking Cisco.
Oh yeah. Oh Lord.
Oh man.
That goddamn Cisco. Oh my God. You talking about unleashing the dragon, nigga?
Yeah. Real tough. But yeah, man.
I'm gonna get at you though, bro.
All right, bro.
All right, man.
All right, yeah.
Later. My brother Sean. I'm gonna convince him about the true funny stories, man. I gotta convince him about that. Some stories, yeah, we can leave out, definitely, but there's a couple that need to see the light of day. And next up on this Super Bowl edition of Sports Plus Life, I don't think I've had this many callers in one episode ever, but I got my homeboy Keith, my young boy, Eagles fan, another Eagles fan. What up, homie?
Yes, sir. It was good.
Ain't nothing much. I'm gonna get right to it. Who you got, Bengals or Rams?
I got a close one, but I have to go with the Rams. They got too much talent.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, what are you looking forward to most when it comes to the Super Bowl? I mean, game, halftime, commercials. What are you looking forward to the most?
Definitely that halftime report. That halftime, definitely. I can't wait to see Mary J. and Kendrick. So I'm excited to see that. But I want to see how Vaughn and them boys play against the offensive line. I'm expecting like 10 to 15 sacks, maybe.
Oh my Lord!
I expect them to go crazy. So I love to see like different teams in the Super Bowl. So I'm very excited for this.
So okay, and all right. So what team do you think has the most pressure on them? Do you think it's the Bengals or do you think it's the Rams?
Easily the Rams, because nobody expected the Bengals to be in. So definitely the Rams. Like Matthew Stafford definitely got, like he needs this one. So definitely the Rams easily.
Yeah, and the Bengals are playing with a lot of house money. They are playing with a lot of house money. So okay, so So what's the final score? What do you think the final score is gonna look like?
I got a close one, but I'm expecting a high scoring game. So I got it 34-24 Rams.
34-24. Okay, so you got the Rams winning by 2 possessions. Oh shit now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think that D line is going to get to Burrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So,
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm expecting a fun one. I can't wait.
Yeah, you and me both. So what was the final stat line when it came to the fantasy football? And just to let y'all know, Keith brought me into his fantasy football league. I had a great start, but then I crashed and burned by the time the season was over. Did you win that league?
No, I didn't. I placed 3rd place, so it was fun. Very competitive, a lot of good teams.
You placed better than me. I ain't even make the playoffs.
For sure, I got to get you in there next year.
I'll be there. No, don't worry about that. You know, I'm going to be there. And maybe this year I'll actually draft my team myself.
Yeah. Like, I tried to get you, but...
Hey, man, I was in the hospital that night. I know. But Philadelphia Eagles, what you looking for next year?
We're talented. We're a talented team. We're young. We're hungry. So I hope we just build on that. We got 3 first-round picks. We got a good amount of cap space. So I just hope we just use them draft picks correctly. You know, over the years, we haven't done that. So I just hope.
I think the only mistakes that the Eagles have made as far as drafting was who they chose to draft at wide receiver.
Easily.
Not with Devontae, but with the other ones.
Oh yeah, Rager, Whiteside. That's why I heard a lot of people talking about Drake London. I'm like, I don't know, that USC. I want to shy away from that, but I hope we go defense. We definitely need defense.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so he got the Rams. He picked the Rams, 34-24, got the Rams. Who do you think is going to be the MVP of the Super Bowl?
MVP? It might be Vaughn.
Oh, you on my level now, bro. Everybody's keying in on Aaron Donald. I'm thinking Vaughn is going to have a big game, so we on the same level here. Boy.
Yes, sir. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Okay, all right. So I have one person saying that Cooper Kupp is going to be the MVP. I got another person saying Matthew Stafford is going to be the MVP. I got one person saying Von Miller is going to be the MVP. But you know what? Out of all the people I've talked to today, I ain't heard nobody pick the Bengals yet. Ain't that a bitch?
Oh, nah, they out there, man. They out there. Like, a lot of my homeboys saying the Bengals, I'm like, they just happy to be there. Like, they're the underdogs, but I think them Rams, they put too much into it. They have to win.
Yeah. Well, that's the consensus. The consensus is they've invested so much, they've gone all in. I mean, not just with trading to Stafford, but later on in the season trading for Von Miller and then being able to pick up Odell Beckham. That you have to be all in. Like, you have no choice. And on top of that, the Super Bowl is in your building.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Odell, he a dark horse for the MVP award.
I agree with you.
Hey, if one person I'm excited for is Odell, I'm just seeing him going out balling.
I agree with you 100%. All right, well, I ain't gonna hold you up too much longer. I just wanted to get your prediction on Wax. I'll definitely send you the link when it's loaded up, bro.
For sure.
Hey, man, take your time. I'll see you soon, bro.
All right, you too, bro.
All right. I gotta tell you, man, this has been an episode like no other. I've never had, what is that? He's the 4th person I've talked to today. I've never had that many calls in one day on one episode. It is Super Bowl episode of Sports Plus Life. Oh my goodness. So who do we have up next? You guys might be familiar. And that familiar voice is here. He's been here every week of the entire football season. My man, Tony. What up, bro?
Yo.
It is Super Bowl week. So, we're going to cut all the bullshit aside. We didn't give picks last week. Sir, who are you predicting to win this game?
I am predicting Ickey Woods' vindication for the people of Cincinnati.
You calling the Cincinnati Bengals?
I am calling the Cincinnati Bengals.
Out of all the calls that I've had today, you are the first person to say the Cincinnati Bengals.
Hey, it pleases me to be the first. I just generally believe, based on what I've seen in this offseason, particularly this offseason, I don't think parity has ever been more evident than this offseason. By all the games being decided by a field goal.
You mean this postseason? You mean this postseason?
This postseason, right?
Yeah.
Except for those wild cards.
Yeah.
And those first couple wild, everything else has been tight and close. And the one thing's for certain, two things for sure, for all the additions the Rams made on both sides of the ball, on paper, they look like they should be the far and away favorite. However, their play has left a lot of meat on the bone and a lot to be desired. And the teams that arguably could have beaten them and maybe should have beaten them in some people's opinions, I believe are either on par or even inferior to this Bengals team, or at least offensively, for sure. This might be the best offense that the Rams D is facing.
I don't disagree with that. I really don't disagree with that particular statement. I think this is the best offense that this Rams D has faced this postseason. Say it for me one more time. Who you got winning this game?
I have the Cincinnati Bengals. I am going with Boomer. Boomer says they're going to win. I say they're going to win.
Okay. So, all right, let me ask you the same questions I've been asking everybody else. What are you looking forward to most from the Super Bowl? And I'm not just talking about the games. I'm on game, halftime commercials. What are you looking forward to most?
Well, last couple of years, halftime commercials have been kind of meh. In terms of Dr. Dre, I mean, Dre gonna blow it up. So I'm not, I'm looking forward to the halftime show. I'm sure there's others that would much rather, Taylor Swift or some
Katy Perry.
Country singer. Yeah, Katy Perry or some country singer, because Dre is going to blow it up, but Dre is also going to be Dre. And some of it might be questionable for TV, but it is what it is. In terms of, I made a statement last week, and I'm sticking to it this week. My Bengals pick is just the pick based on the field, just in general. But with any sport, I've never been a fan of the buying championship dynamic. And for the most part, the base of the Rams team is not that, but they went all in, and to go all in means you got to buy players, buy pieces in order to do that, unless you do it from all, organically, which they clearly aren't at this point. I like Matt Stafford, but again, I've also been a fan of winning what I perceive as the right way versus, the buying the Super Bowl thing. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to the game. I'm looking forward to the Bengals to beat them.
So,
and for then people to look at that model and say, maybe we'll just evolve the guys we drafted, rather than going to put together the superstar thing. Because if they win, who's next?
Well, I do want to mention this to you. Now, I understand what you're saying as far as buying the players and the superstar players. I do want you to keep in mind the Cincinnati defense. None of those guys, maybe with the exception of Bates, all of the guys who've made differences with the exception of Bates in the playoffs, they were all free agent pickups. They just not superstar names.
Free agency is a part of the game, just in general. I'm not saying that. But like you said, those guys, just in general, they weren't on they were free agents, but they may not have necessarily been on everybody's top wish list in order to do so. The trades were legit. They gave up what they gave up to get Von Miller. Those that's part of the game. That is what that is. But the template for that, I don't know. I've always had a problem with that particular model in order to get
the quote unquote super team.
Right.
Okay.
I have an issue with that.
Well, that leads me to my next question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer. Who do you think's under more pressure to win this game?
Well, clearly the Rams are under pressure to win because you're mortgaging your future to win now. And if it don't work out, then you look real dumb. As an organization, you look real dumb. Sean McVay looks dumb as a coach because it's like, dude, you amassed all this talent and you couldn't get over the hump. So it all falls on the Bengals are literally they have nothing to lose, so they can go balls to the wall. It's the last game of the season, they can go balls to the wall. Every trick play, every whatever. If it's me, I take a 7-step drop, keep Max protecting, and just fling it out there as far as I can to Jamar Chase and let him work one-on-one against Ramsey because they're going to put him one-on-one.
Of course.
Because Ramsey's ego is not going to say, I need help.
Well, I also would try to exploit the whoever's covering T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. I'll be looking that direction too.
Run them across the middle and keep Mixon, keep that Max protect in, and at the last minute run Mixon out into the flat or up that middle for a short dump off. That's an automatic first down every time because they chasing Chase, Boyd, Higgins. They chasing all them dudes downfield.
Okay, so Tony has picked the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I am officially going to go on record to make my pick. I have no rooting interest in this game. I have no dog in the fight. I have never rooted against either team all season with the exception of when Cincinnati played my Denver Broncos. But one thing I have been is high up on that Bengals train because I thought that this team would be maybe a year or two away from giving the whole world problems. I didn't think it would start now. But that Cincinnati offensive line scares me with seeing as who they're going up against. I have to give the slight edge to the Rams because if you give Tennessee 9 sacks, what the hell? Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, that's what scares me the most. That scares me is that Rams defense. All them sacks,
but yet they were in the game.
Yeah, but Matthew Stafford is not Ryan Tannehill. Matthew Stafford ain't Ryan Tannehill. So I'm going to have to narrowly pick the Los Angeles Rams to hold down home field advantage. Either team that wins, I will be happy for Stafford if he wins. I'll be happy for Burrow if he wins. Honestly, I really just want to see a great and legendary Super Bowl game. I have to lean slightly towards the Rams, so we're going to disagree with this last pick, which is the way it should be, the last game of the football season. Now, next question I have for you is who do you think is going to be MVP?
My pick is my pick, so it's either going to be Chase or Burrow. I would probably lean toward Burrow because he's the thrower, irregardless to what the receivers do, because they got so many weapons that other people are going to take away from them yards from Chase anyway.
Right.
So
right.
I would not be surprised if it is Joe Burrow. If they pull that off, you'd have to give it to him. And it may not just necessarily be for the Super Bowl. They probably give it to him for his entire body of work in the playoffs.
Well, I'm going with Von Miller. I think Von Miller's going to get his second Super Bowl MVP and cement himself in the history of being the first defensive player to ever win multiple Super Bowl MVPs. I'm going with Von Miller. These are the games he's meant for. All the attention that's going to be on Aaron Donald, I think Von Miller's going to have a field day.
We shall see.
I can't wait. I'm not going to lie. I cannot wait. So, all right. So, well, there you have it. The Super Bowl predictions. Now, let's get into other news because this coaching thing going on. Everybody knows, Brian Flores filed a 58-page lawsuit against the NFL, claiming, racial discrimination when it comes to hiring practices of coaches in the NFL. Now, we talked about this when the lawsuit was first filed. I don't know if your position or anything has changed, but how do you feel about it?
It has not changed, and I'll tell you why it hasn't changed. So you're going to go out on a limb, and this is my issue with it. This pretty much sums it up. It's a microcosm of my issue with Flores and the way this is all panning out. His prognosis of John Elway and his take on, his interview with them. He says, oh, they look like they were out partying all night and blah, blah, blah. They were probably doing it. Elway's response is, look, bro, we had just taken a flight back and forth from doing interviews. So you're gonna take a guess on the man's appearance, and we're gonna assume that all of them didn't show up looking like a bag of wrinkles and were hungover and all this other stuff in appearance. But why are you just bringing this up now? Again, this is you're trying to bolster your perhaps legitimate claim with your opinion on how these people appeared and they were unprofessional or, in their appearance, and they just kind of seem to be, going through the motions. Like I said, we know there's a disparity racially in terms of the hierarchy in the NFL, whether it be coaches, owners, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, something's got to be the catalyst to change that. However, I question the brothers. Is this about you or is this about the big picture? He said it's about the big picture, but then some of the instances you're citing are really personal. What was the other black coach? He listed him, but
Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson. This is a guy you don't necessarily want to channel there, Mr. Flores. You don't want to pull him into it, because that doesn't necessarily favor your argument. I just, like I said, change has to happen. I just, again, I question his particular. Is this personal, or are you really trying to affect change? Because it seems mostly personal. Okay, well, what do you think about the accusations that he was offered $100,000 per game to tank in 2019?
Well, I 100% believe him with that. I believe him with that. But
so do I.
That's a common practice in the NFL and always has been. And I also believe you want to keep a job in the NFL, sort of like, and I don't really agree with Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen A. and then I forget who it was.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah, he said, man, you don't put personal text messages and stuff out there for that purpose, internally. Every team, and they openly admitted this, every team is likely the bottom dwelling teams that aren't making the playoffs are in that position, and then you have to question, did the players give up? Did the coach, are they sitting people with injuries, phantom injuries, to increase their chance, to increase their draft pick? We know they do. You know what I'm saying? But come on, man.
But if that's true, that's tanking games.
I get that. But what does that have in the big picture? You didn't do it. You, or at least that's the image you're portraying. Like, you didn't do it. You didn't take them up on $100,000 thing. That's not ultimately the reason why you got fired, unless the guy you tanked and they took the guy. If they had taken the guy that you wanted, would you really be talking about it? You don't like Tua. Had they taken the quarterback that you wanted, would you be putting this out there right now? No,
I don't know. I don't think so.
So you were on board, except it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. You were on board in general if they were going to let you be autonomous in the selection of that high draft pick, perhaps, that quarterback, perhaps. That's my issue with it. That's what makes it seem like this is a personal thing.
Oh, it's definitely personal.
You got any grievance against, you're bringing it up now because you didn't get a coaching job, or you didn't feel like you got a fair shot at a coaching job in New York. Some of that stuff has nothing to do with that.
Well, I have to say this. While I understand every point that you made, I do believe Brian Flores. I do, because he knows that he probably will never coach again in the NFL. It is definitely personal, but I do believe him on what he says. I believe him about the tank. I believe him about the tanking issue. The issue is that it's going to be very hard to prove in a court of law that what he's saying in this lawsuit, that you can prove what he's saying in the lawsuit in court. I think that's going to be the hardest part. I honestly don't think morally anybody out there disagrees with him, but in court, everybody knows is not what's true. It's more or less what you can prove. And
but on the tanking issue, okay, I acknowledge that most teams do that. Like, most teams are going to do that. If they're a bottom-dwelling team, the majority of the time, go out and make a good showing for the fans, but ultimately we want to take that L because that's the difference between us getting the 5th pick and the 13th pick or something like that. So we understand that part of it, but my question to Flores would be the same as what I said to you. Why is it a thing now? Had they had...
Well, I already told you it's personal.
Had you taken the money, or not even if you had taken the money, if they had allowed you, say, we're going to give you our autonomy, which guy do you feel most comfortable with, and the quarterback that you wanted was the quarterback at Miami, and you still got fired, would this be a part of your conversation? It would not be.
Well, I already said, I believe it's personal. I do believe it's personal. I don't pay the interview with Denver any attention, only because that in 2019 Denver was just their coach the previous 2 seasons was a black man. So, and as far as them being hung over,
exactly, it was a black man. So they just gonna discriminate against you because you a black man and they just had a black person.
Yeah. Their coach the previous 2 seasons was Vance Joseph. He was a black man.
You're pulling people into your argument. Your argument is persuasive. We know it exists. We know that racism is ingrained in these institutions, baseball especially. We know this already, brother, but why are you bringing in all this peripheral stuff in? Because it's weakening you. It's making you look petty. It's making you look weak, and it's not strengthening your thing. Even pulling Belichick into that argument, no one's on his side on that. People don't even like Belichick, most people, but there's quite simply, Belichick made a mistake in terms of congratulating the wrong guy, just in general. But even let's be fair, Belichick is connected. He's been coaching forever.
Well, it's not even that. Not even the fact that he's been coaching forever. He loves the New York job. I was talking to my brother about this before we got on the phone. Well, my brother was on here on the podcast. When I was telling him, Belichick is connected to the Giants organization because he's loves the Giants organization. He's been invested in the Giants organization for damn near 40 years. So he'll have the inside track on anything the Giants do. But, there's a part of me that thinks, did Belichick drop that little nugget on purpose?
I mean, he may have, he may not have, but my question to Flores is my question is the question that stumped him when they had him on First Take or whatever.
Get Up. It was on Get Up, the show before First Take.
He was stuck when they said, if you knew that you weren't going to get hired, why'd you go to the interview anyway? And he kind of stopped and thought, and then he said what he said. But again, if people, these teams, no matter who they are, if they get rid of a coach today, they got a list of guys that they already got in mind. Everyone knows this. I mean, otherwise, why fire a guy? You don't fire a guy unless you feel like you got, potentially some candidates.
Well, I think we both agree that Brian Flores getting fired from Miami was absolutely ridiculous.
It was, but the problem is clarification. From the Miami organization, what was their clarification?
Well, it really had to do with the fact that he didn't want the quarterback.
Yes, I mean, and that clarification on some level is legitimate. It's happened before. It's happened most recently. You might say the most recent case of that where upper management and coaching bumped heads over a quarterback would have been Wentz in Philly.
And they got rid of everybody.
And Ertz, right. So it happens. So for him to, again, it might have been legitimate. Like, at the end of the day, they could have pulled him in that office and said, Tua is our quarterback. This is the guy that we're rolling with. We drafted him. We're rolling with him. This is what you got, Flores. And Flores said, hey, blah, 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 blah. And we're back to that whole argument of let me buy groceries. You want me to cook? Let me buy groceries. and they said, well, we just have to agree to disagree. Maybe this job isn't for you. At that point, where does his race have anything to do with it?
Okay. Well, clearly there's a problem in the NFL.
You told me something I didn't know. You said he hadn't even talked to Tua in how long?
Say what?
Flores hadn't talked to Tua.
Oh yeah, it was.
How long?
Yeah, they had the Wentz Doug Peterson issue. There was really no communication.
What do you do as ownership? You draft the quarterback is your quarterback. Yeah, I mean, unless you feel like you can trade him, you're going to trade him for the coach to keep the coach, or you're going to agree and you're going to say, well, this could be a one-off and it's just him and that guy.
Well, to Flores' defense,
there's going to be a problem going on in the future where we want to bring in players, but the coach don't want them.
Yeah, but to Flores' defense, he wanted Justin Herbert. I mean,
I understand how the draft could have shaken out, but that's irrelevant. He don't own the team.
Well, that's true. No, that's true.
He don't own the team. He don't call them pay. He don't sign the paycheck. So he don't call them shots in terms of that, and that may have been the understanding from the gate. But if this guy is saying, man, we've seen, and I'm not saying Flores is this guy, but we've seen some coaches so vindictive they won't even play the dude. They'll literally sit them down, or keep yanking them out of games or whatever.
Well, that's kind of what they had going on in 2020 between Tua and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I've seen it firsthand within my organization. Bill Parcells did not like T.O. and never called him by his name from the gate. Did T.O. ever do anything to Bill Parcells? Nope.
No?
He didn't want T.O. from the gate, so he determined from the gate he was going to ostracize T.O. at least from head coach standpoint. That communication standpoint. And so that could have created some divisiveness there. Who would have gotten blamed for it? T.O.
Well, that's true. Well, yeah. That was a point in T.O.'s career where everything was T.O.'s fault if anything happened.
Right.
But now,
and that was Parcells, the man who shit don't stink. That was him the whole way.
Now, but there clearly is an issue when it comes to hiring black coaches in the NFL. And it's getting worse. Like, remember, we thought that Leftwich was going to get the Jacksonville job. We saw that went to Doug Peterson. Miami, they just hired a coach today, McDaniel, not Josh, whoever this other guy is. There clearly is an issue going on. There is a problem going on.
But Jacksonville explained. That's the thing. I think in light of what's been going on lately, Jacksonville explained.
Well, look, honestly, I don't have a problem.
And it was a legitimate explanation.
I don't have a problem with Jacksonville hiring Doug Peterson because you have to hire somebody that's in the best interest of your quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. I just thought Leftwich would have been in that same position too. But, I mean, you're hiring a Super Bowl champion coach. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have an issue with that. But again, it goes back to what I said last week. You can't tell these billionaires what to do with their money. And it seems like almost that the billionaire owners are saying, oh, okay, they want to keep talking about we're not going to hire black coaches. There's an issue. Well, guess what? We're going to continue to hire white coaches.
Yeah, but I get that too. But then there's the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin is you push this narrative, that this narrative continue to get pushed, and now every organization is under that, with a vacancy, is under that particular heat. Now you're hiring, and forgive me for what I'm about to say, token niggas. And you don't want that either.
What was that again?
Token niggas.
Define that.
Because you don't want to be that guy, that organization that is labeled discriminatory because you've never had that black coach. So you get that opening, and tokenism, you hire that token nigga, somebody with somewhat of a resume that you can put in place as a figurehead to say, look, we're diverse. We hired a black coach, but your intention is really to move on, to get somebody else in there, but you want to avoid ever having that labels, because you can always say, sort of like you just said with Denver, not that Denver ever was thinking that way, but it's hard to make that argument that he's making about Elway and Denver being as though they've already had that black.
Well, I thought about Denver when you said that, but more or less I was thinking about the Houston Texans. Because look what just happened with David Culley. You had a black coach for a year, knowing he had nothing to work with, particularly because Deshaun Watson didn't play this year, and then you fired him. So I would more or less get...
I mean, I understand that too, but again, inner workings, you don't know why that particular situation was. you could make an argument at somebody. You could say somebody like Lynn. Why did he lose his job?
Well, shoot. Anthony Lynn to me lost his job for the same reason why you could have easily fired Brandon Staley after this season.
Bingo.
Because Anthony Lynn did have them at 12-4 in 2018 in the second round of the playoffs. But after that season, Anthony Lynn was there for a good 5-6 years. So it's not like.
Why did he lose his job?
Who?
Jim Caldwell.
Oh, now you hit the nail on the head with that one. Because that made no sense. The Detroit Lions, I was just talking about this with my brother, the caller before you. Well, two callers before you. I was talking about we were talking about this. The Detroit Lions, Jim Caldwell took the Detroit Lions to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years. His last season in Detroit, he was 9-7, and they fired him. There you go. Bingo. They fired him for Matt Patricia, who I don't think won any more than 4 or 5 games in his tenure with Detroit.
Mm-hmm. All of that being said, and everything you just said, none of it points to we fired Jim Caldwell because he was black. None of it. It's certain organizations that they will stick with you. Hence, Marvin Lewis.
Well, I was going to say Marvin Lewis.
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Cincinnati is totally out of this conversation.
Right. They'll ride with you. You know what I'm saying? White, black, or other. But there's other organizations, their tolerance level is low for mediocrity. And it doesn't matter how mediocre the franchise has previously looked. You get some moderate success, but you regress in any way, your head is on the chopping block. Hence the shakeup in Indianapolis. Indianapolis is looking like a Super Bowl contender, legitimate Super Bowl contender, and then all of a sudden they regressed one step, and then you had to have a shakeup.
Well, yeah, damn, Jim Caldwell was on the back end of that one, too.
Right. So it's just certain franchises that way, and I don't think it has anything to do with race.
Well, then, if that's the case, and Jim Caldwell's just had bad luck. Because think about it, he had Indianapolis in the Super Bowl. I mean, of course you're going to give most of that credit to Peyton Manning, obviously, because the year he was out with a neck injury, they were 2-14, then you fire him.
If the enemy is in the running finalist for whose job?
The Saints.
The Saints, right, the Saints. Now, should they decide to go in a different direction? Was it because he was black?
I don't know.
In this climate, it will be said that is the reason, potentially, depending on who the candidate is, depending on who the ultimate hire is.
Flores is a finalist for that job too.
It potentially will be said that might have been, but again, how do you prove that? How do you stand with legit argument in any court and say, hey, they didn't hire me because I'm black?
I said it's going to be, I told you, I don't not believe Brian Flores. Of course it's personal, but it's going to be hard to prove in a court of law that these coaches aren't getting hired because they're black. So I believe him. I really do. And I especially believe him about the tanking thing. And I think that's the more important issue, because if you come to find out that owners are asking coaches to throw games, they need to be out of there. I mean, just like Adam Silver kicked Donald Sterling the hell out.
Donald Sterling got kicked out for a different reason.
No, I understand that.
Popovich openly tanked. They've changed the rules somewhat in terms of that, but what they didn't change the rules. They changed the way the draft is conducted, so it doesn't benefit you as much to tank. And that's the only way to deter
but the thing about with Popovich, I'm not going to say that's open tanking, because there were a lot of games where he would sit Parker, Duncan, and Ginobili, and the Spurs would still win that game. You know, when you're talking about an owner giving incentives to a coach, I'll give you $100,000 for each loss. That's openly tanking. Popovich sitting players, while it may piss us off, yes, but if the team goes out and they still win the game, they're just winning the games with players that you didn't want to see. That's not
my words. If Flores hasn't released any texts related to that or emails related to that, he doesn't have any, because he probably would have dropped, since he already dropping all kinds of texts. I wonder if he's going to drop his side chick text message out there next. But anyway, the point is, If he doesn't have those things at the end of the day, if it were to go to, I mean, it's going to go to a court thing. I promise you, the Miami owner is going to say something along these lines. We were all hanging out one evening, and I jokingly, while I was under the influence of alcohol, made a comment about how the team is playing terrible at this point. We might as well just, matter of fact, I give $100,000 if you just lose the rest of the games.
Okay, so what? Okay, so let's just play devil's advocate right quick. So what if it's found that Stephen Ross did in fact offer Brian Flores money to lose games on purpose? Do you think he should be forced to sell the team?
No.
I do, because you're tanked, because that's fixing games.
No, I know. I don't think so. What I do, because ultimately it wasn't taken, so he's not fixing the game. If Flores didn't take the money and the team didn't tank, then it never happened. Him making the suggestion alone, no, I don't think. I think he should be fined, maybe suspended for a couple years, sort of like what happened with Common Policy.
And Sean Payton was suspended for a year too because of the Bounty Gate.
Bounty Gate. So I believe that should happen, and a humongous fine, but forcing him to sell proprietary entity based on that, no. Sterling was completely different. That was a whole different thing.
You know why I think he should be forced to sell the team? Because not only, I mean, I'm not even going to get into the integrity of the game, because that shit gets on my nerves. All of these leagues really, and you want to talk about integrity of the games, all of these leagues are underhanded. Baseball just does it better than anybody else. But I'm thinking about the betting, the gambling community, which has now become so relevant in professional sports. You're asking somebody to fix games, to lose games on purpose. I understand what you're saying. Flores didn't take it. It didn't happen. But the fact that the owner was willing to do this, I think warrants him getting the hell out of there. That's just my opinion.
I maintain about they should fine him, hit him in his pockets humongously, not a little bit, not $100,000, something that they sneeze at, hit him with something big, maybe even strip a couple picks from him to prove that point that this is the result. But no, I don't. And his Sterling, again, I was in favor of that. But in that particular situation, no. Because, again, I feel like it's something that teams do anyway. This is the first time we're hearing about it publicly, but I feel like teams have been doing it forever anyway. And that's just it. Like, I don't think he should be made to sell in that situation.
All right, well, let's switch subjects now. Let's switch sports. The NBA trade deadline is in 3 days.
Yep.
And what we're hearing about, and I already know this isn't going to happen, well, at least Brooklyn has denied it's going to happen, as far as trading James Harden. James Harden, which was reported last week, is unhappy. He doesn't like living in Brooklyn. He doesn't like the whole Kyrie Irving situation. What do you think the NBA trade deadline is going to look like?
Well, I'll say this. I don't think James Harden is likely going to be a Sixer next year. So
that's what I was telling Sean.
That's what's going to end up happening. It's just a matter of what they're going to have to ultimately jettison to make that happen, because he's going to want his money too. He's not just going to be a Sixer just to be a Sixer. They're going to have to pay him what he thinks he's still worth. So there's that. But I got a side prediction for you. And remember it. Just remember it. It's a long time. Kevin Durant will be a Chicago Bull.
Oh, you think so?
Yep. I think so, because I think Harden is going to bounce in the offseason. This whole thing with Kyrie and the fact that they did all of this and netted nothing, is Kevin Durant's not going to stay there. He's just not going to stay there, and that's it. I think sometimes they play on words or whatever to boost whatever argument they might be trying to make, but one thing for certain, two things for sure, at least as far as I can tell, Kevin Durant and DeRozan are really, really tight, and he'd make that move, because that would virtually pretty much guarantee them championship.
Well, one thing you can't. One thing we can't guarantee nothing in the NBA. We can't. But it would definitely put them as head and shoulders favorites. But I can't guarantee nothing because remember, at the beginning of the season, it was guaranteed that the Lakers and the Nets were going to play. When Kawhi went to the Clippers, it was guaranteed the Lakers and the Clippers were going to meet up in the Western Conference Finals. But if Kevin Durant goes to the Bulls, I believe, yes, they would be head and shoulders the favorite to come out of the East.
Yeah, well, and he fits their position of need.
Well, I'm sure you would be you would do
fool.
cartwheels for that.
I would, but at the same time, I told you I'm in favor of that organic thing, and I don't become biased just because it's my team.
I was going to say, well, hey, DeRozan ain't a homegrown Bull. Neither is Lonzo. Neither is Caruso.
He's not, but I look at DeMar a little different, sort of like I looked at Ray Allen and Kevin Durant and them. I never looked at them like they were a super team, man, because them dudes, they put in work with their franchises.
Are you talking about when they went to the Celtics?
Right, they put in work with their friends. They left it out there and tried to win for
they did.
Their original franchise. They did.
Well, remember when Ray Allen got traded to Boston, that was his third team.
Right.
Now it was Kevin Garnett's second team, but yeah, no, he left it all out there in Minnesota.
And key word, he got traded. Like he I mean, that's people moving on from you or mutual move on type scenario versus what's happened in modern history with the players getting together and deciding we gonna make the super team. All we gotta do is get the owners to buy in.
I was going to say, well, if I know that's your issue with the Rams, but I understand. I know that was your issue with the Rams, but Jalen Ramsey, they traded for Jalen Ramsey. They just re-signed him as a free agent. They traded for Von Miller. They traded Stafford.
I get that. I get that. I get that they made the trades or whatever, but I just, like I said, parity is real. Parity is a real thing and a huge thing in sports, and it's a lot of scrub teams out there. Why? Because their talent is jettisoning to go other places.
Well, I don't disagree with that. I think Zion Williamson should stay in New Orleans, but Zion Williamson, before he stays in New Orleans, he needs to stay in shape. Zion Williamson is going to screw up his whole career because he can't stop going back for seconds.
Isn't it amazing how healthy and all of a sudden these guys got new? Like I predicted if Ben Simmons get moved and all of a sudden his mental issues will go away and he'll be on the court the next game he's available to play.
Oh yeah, me and Sean, my brother, had a discussion about that. He's on team Ben Simmons, and I love Ben Simmons, but I think Ben Simmons is soft as hell. I think the way he's been acting has been ridiculous. I don't blame Shaq for calling him out. Man up. That's the way I feel about Ben Simmons.
My boy is a Sixers fan. He's talking about, man, you'd love to have Ben Simmons on the Bulls. No. I mean, he fit our position of need at the 4, because he handled the ball like a guard, and he is legitimate. He's not bulky, but in today's NBA, he's a 4. He can be a 4.
He can be a 5 in today's NBA. He's 6'10".
He can defend all them positions, but if it comes with the dramatics and the headaches, and he doesn't do anything to improve his game, like he's shown that he don't care about improving his game, nah, he's a liability.
Exactly.
He's a liability.
Exactly. That's when they said Ben Simmons could possibly get traded to the Lakers. I'm like, well, look. From a defensive standpoint, I'd say hell yes, because the Lakers are trash on defense. But from offensive standpoint, what's the difference between him and Westbrook? They're going to give you the same amount of points per game.
Yeah.
Now Ben Simmons ain't going to turn the ball over like Westbrook.
No. Yeah, you get the defensive presence, he ain't going to turn the ball over, but get the similar production.
Yeah. You're going to get another dude that can't shoot. At least Westbrook will try to shoot a 3. Ben Simmons won't even do that. And Westbrook's not afraid of the free throw line. Ben Simmons is.
To this day, I mean, I don't understand it because you got so many former players that have these little camps and willing to work with these dudes one-on-one on their moves, on their shooting motions, everything. You got millions of dollars, and I'm sure the franchise probably ain't even got to come out your pocket if you say you want a shooting coach. The Sixers would hire a shooting coach for you, Ben Simmons. That's just lazy.
Well, the Sixers have hired a shooting coach for him.
That's just lazy because I tell you, they had. It's funny. It's not a one-off neither. I ain't gonna just pick on Simmons. Let's talk about Markelle Fultz. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah.
Awkward shooter, couldn't get it together, can't get right. All you gotta do is shoot, man.
Well, Markelle Fultz actually did hire a shooting coach for him. His game has actually improved a lot. His problem now is he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Because his game improved enough to where Orlando paid him some good money. He just hasn't been able to stay on the court. And it's unfortunate because when I saw him play with Orlando, particularly in the bubble, I said, this is a totally different guy. I mean, and defensively, he's very good defensively, and he's turned into being very good offensively. Now he just has the injury bug. He got the Joel Embiid syndrome.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you. I believe if Philadelphia had a choice right now between getting the Markelle Fultz that they saw before he got injured and Ben Simmons, they would probably swap that.
Right, yeah. That was a good game yesterday, too. It's just that lack of size killed us, and we just...
Yeah.
Dudes, we ain't got nothing.
Embiid is a monster, though, man. But DeRozan putting 45 points, man. I mean... That's
no Caruso and no Lonzo and no Zach LaVine. There was no way we were gonna win that game.
Hey man, Philadelphia's coming though, man. But still though.
I mean, if we hit some of them 3-point shots, yeah, maybe get a different result. But it was a good game. I mean, DDR, Debo, and Embiid did their thing. Nobody could stop either one of them.
Nope. But now the big story is Westbrook got benched in overtime against the Knicks. I don't have time to really pay attention to that stuff because, one, we're a losing team right now. It's more than halfway through the season. We're a losing team. I told you this 2 weeks ago. I'm not blaming Westbrook for these issues anymore because we knew, there's 13 years of footage on Russell Westbrook. You knew the type of player you were getting. LeBron now is injury prone. He's injury prone because he's old. It's that simple. The mileage is catching up to his body. Anthony Davis always has his check engine light on, and the rest of the roster, with the exception of Malik Monk, is old as fuck. and I guess, what's the white boy's name? Austin Reeves. THT has been a disaster this season. So it's really, to me, with the Lakers, there's nothing more to talk about. I want to get into the Western Conference Finals matchup that I'm predicting between Phoenix and Golden State. That's going to be the shit. You see Klay Thompson is getting healthy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to some degree. He's still, I don't know. I don't know if he seemed like he's lost a little bit of the athleticism. Yeah, I saw a couple dunks, but I also saw him struggling, laboring a little bit. And I don't mean from being winded. I'm talking about just in general, his movement.
It's going to take him about a year.
His acumen is being a knockdown shooter and defense.
It's going to take him about a year to get back to full form. I think he'll be fully in NBA playing shape by the time the playoffs come. But as far as getting back to full Klay Thompson, it's going to take about a year. Think about it, he missed 2 years of ball. So he's still not in playing shape.
Right.
So like I said, by the time the playoff comes, he'll be in good condition. But as far as being where I really think it could possibly affect him is really on the defensive end, because Klay Thompson's game didn't depend on athleticism. His game didn't depend on athleticism. It was
defensively, it did.
I mean, well, that's why I said that's where it'll affect him the most. Is on the defensive side of the ball. But on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, he did the same thing. He did the same thing as Steph, with the exception of the ball handling. Run around, get open, shoot. Run around, get open, shoot. He'll be back to full gear with that by the time the playoffs come. But good to see Draymond Green as an all-star again.
Yeah. You know what? I don't pay that much attention to that because that the both All-Star, Pro Bowl, all that stuff has been so delegitimized now that you letting basically the fans choose for the most part. Players have a little input, coaches have a little input, but mostly it's just fan stuff.
Well, I was watching the Pro Bowl yesterday, and I realized why I don't watch the Pro Bowl. Because, I mean, gee whiz, you can't even tackle anymore in the Pro Bowl.
I'll say this about the skills thing, right? Everybody was making the big deal about Tyreek Hill and the
race,
the race thing. And Tyreek Hill wasn't even trying. Yeah, but Nick Chubb and Trayvon Diggs were running full speed. Forget what Tyreek Hill did. Everybody knows that Tyreek Hill is fast as shit, but the fact that Micah beat out Chubb and Trayvon Diggs is a hell of a thing. They were running full speed, and he still outran.
Yeah, that's why when I saw Micah Parsons, not necessarily like you said, not Chubb and Trayvon Diggs, even though if you're a cornerback, you should be able to beat the linebacker if you're Trayvon Diggs. But when they said Tyreek Hill, I'm like, man, Tyreek Hill won't run it for real. All you got to do is look at that touchdown pass he caught against Buffalo in the fourth quarter. That was Tyreek Hill running. You ain't catching that dude. I don't give, especially if you're a linebacker. No, that's not happening. But, I mean...
But that was my thing. Everybody was saying he wasn't running full speed. Well, why did he run at all then? If he wasn't going to run, why run at all?
I guess just because, I don't know. Just because, hey, Tyreek Hill is racing. Let's see. I don't know. But, I don't take much stock into none of that stuff. Because, and plus, you never know what nagging little ailments, particularly...
Why run at all, man?
Well, I get that.
Only because that's what I'm talking about, the delegitimization, because for years that was a whole thing. I promise you, Darryl Green took that shit seriously.
Oh, yeah.
All of them did.
But see, back then they took it all seriously. Back then, yes.
Even the quarterbacks throwing the accuracy thing.
Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah, back then they did take it seriously. Now it's just more or less of a joke. That's why I used to watch the Pro Bowl when I was a kid because they took it seriously. Same thing with the NBA All-Star. I remember NBA All-Star games, a couple of them games was in the low 100s, which is low scoring for an All-Star game because they were playing defense. It meant something to them.
Well, they would play defense the second half if the score was close. The first half it would be all highlights and dunks and this and the other. But if that game is competitive going into that fourth quarter, then everybody want to play lockdown.
Well, that's what they say they do now. But I remember watching some games, in the early 90s where it might have been highlights, but you had to work for them highlights. Like if you saw Clyde Drexler catch a lob on Jordan took that shit personally and vice versa. If you saw Pippen get jayed up by Chris Mullin, that shit meant something. And then Magic and Isaiah, they sitting there they were putting on the show. Magic and Isaiah, the pass, the reverse layup. But everybody from Jordan and Drexler down was like, oh no, bruh. No.
Right.
This is we serious here. That's why one thing I will say I do like about baseball is that the winner of their All-Star game determines on who gets home field advantage in the World Series. I like that shit because all of those players come out to play because they know it's something on the line, especially if you are on a contending team.
Right.
I think that basketball should maybe look into doing something like that.
I saw something unusual yesterday twice during the Sixers game, and it's funny because the topic came up in the Sixers post game, and Doc Rivers said what he said, but that's Doc Rivers. That's his mentality in terms of coaching, so of course he's going to project that to his players. So Ayo Dosunmu, our rookie, who's a baller, he had a fast break, right? Two dudes running with him. One of them dudes happened to be Andre Drummond, who he posterized. He posterized him because Andre Drummond's talent is dumb.
Yeah.
And just let him go. Ayo got him. Same play later on in the game. Ayo had breakaway. Same player, same everything. He went up to go to yam that, and B was with him step for step, and B fouled him. He challenged it, though. He could have gave up on it, but he didn't. that came up in conversation in the Sixers post game because I was watching it on my thing, so it was from the Philadelphia commentating time.
Right.
Point of the post game was Philly.
Right.
And Doc Rivers said, big man ain't supposed to give up layups. Big man ain't supposed to give up dunks.
That's the era he come from, man.
Not without a contest.
That's the era he come from.
So I saw that and I said that's something. Even though it was Andre Drummond getting faced, he shot, and Andre Drummond is like 1 inch from being out of the league. Probably he still went and challenged that shot because you just don't get that up.
No, you don't. That's where Doc come from. And Drummond better realize he better tighten him. It's crazy because Drummond was an all-star 2 years ago. But no, that's the era Doc come from. But before we get off, bro, any parting shots?
Not really. Like, there's nothing really, nothing else to really talk about it, is it?
Well, I tell you what, you got me on Ozark, bro.
Ozark is great.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something.
Starts off really slow, but it gets compelling pretty fast.
Man, them Snells ain't nothing to be trifled with.
No, they are not. They got everybody on lock.
And I right now, I just started because I started binge watching last week, and I'm just getting to season 2, so I still got a ways to go. I'm gonna continue on tonight. But yeah, them Snells ain't nothing to be trifled with. The way she blew that dude head off, I was like, damn. All he did, he called you rat. Damn. But you could tell he was mad about that. And
it's funny, who would have thought the cartel's would reach that far?
Right.
Into Missouri, the hills with some hillbillies. Basically, that's all that's there is hillbillies.
He said, "Old Marty Bird, only one who could get me to do business with a bunch of rednecks." What'd you say? I said, "Old Marty Bird is the only one who could get me to do business with a bunch of rednecks." Kablooey.
Yeah. That show is great. It's great, and you ain't even got to like the meat of it yet.
But you know who my dude was? The old man that lived in the house with him.
Yeah, Bob.
No, I don't think that was what was his name? Benny or something like that. It wasn't Bob. It wasn't that simple. It was a 2-syllable name. But either way, you know who I'm talking about. The dude who was fitting to die in a year anyway.
Yeah.
That dude went hard. He went hard.
They always gave you the impression that there was something about him that they wasn't telling, quite yet in the story.
Yeah, that he got a criminal past.
That maybe he was a hitman for the mob or something at some point or something.
Because when he came out there, when old boy's dude came in there when they was about to leave, and the son had pulled the gun on him, but he ain't know that he had unloaded the junk. And the mama told him to shoot, and he pulled the trigger, and nothing came out, and he was about to jack that son up. He said, "You better keep your keister shut." He came out with that shotgun. He's like, "Jonah, ladies, go to your car." He's like, "You don't have no idea what you're doing." He said, "Really? Kablooey." I was like, "Oh, shit." I was like, yo,
you know who he is, right?
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah.
What was his character from Scarface?
From Scarface, yeah. I've seen him plenty of times.
Yeah, that was my man.
Yeah, man. Old boy, Jonah was mad when he died, boy. That was his boy. The little boy Jonah, he was mad when he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was his boy. He taught him how to shoot. Everything. He taught him how to shoot, load up, everything. Yeah, that was his guy.
But I mean, they explained that everything got a shelf life, and they didn't want to, get to the point where people's like, all right, you got another season, so that's why they decided to end it at 4.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm gonna get there. After you
get through that, got another one for you, and it's 4 seasons, but they've already announced the 5th, The Handmaid's Tale.
The Handmaid's Tale.
Yep. Never heard of it?
No.
Yeah, it's a different kind of series. It's a Hulu series. It's a different kind. Basically, the synopsis is it's slightly future America. When I say slightly, it's like 5 years in future, where through global warming, chemicals in the air, different pandemics, whatever, the fertility rate in the world has dropped to the point where 1 in 5 children survive birth.
Oh my God.
And it causes uprising and upheaval in different countries, particularly America. And the same far-right crazies, the anti-abortionists, the same people that would have stormed the Capitol on the 6th and believe that the vaccine is some kind of government conspiracy thing, they overthrow the United States government. The capital of the United States is now Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh boy, doesn't Trump wish that was true?
And they take over America and institute a whole different system where they try to revert America back to a time they perceive America was good, and they got all the women walking around.
Oh, it's MAGA, only in film cinema.
Yeah, and so and they have an organized structure where they basically breed the women.
Okay.
They basically kidnap or abduct the suitable women, and they become handmaids, and their sole job is to spit out kids for their quote-unquote commander. They're assigned to a commander, and the commander and the wife have a ritual with them every night to induce pregnancy, so to speak.
Boy, that sounds freaky.
Yeah, it's deeper than that though, because their whole basis in it is religion, and so lust is not acceptable. So they're not supposed to be dealing with the handmaids for lustful purposes, just procreative purposes.
And what's the name of this again?
The Handmaid's Tale. And
that's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, definitely. Yeah. I'm gonna get at a look. Let me finish with Ozark. I'm gonna get at a look. But I'm about to get out of here because I'm cooking my kids some ribs tonight. Yeah.
Have you? I have not checked it out. I said maybe just because the new thing, Power with Tommy.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out. I'm all in on that one. I'm in on Power Book 2 Ghosts. They just wrapped up their season finale the other day. Me and my boy Eddie was on here talking about it earlier.
That came with Tyreek.
Yeah, with Tyreek. Yeah.
That's been back.
Yeah, they got a whole nother season of that. This was the season finale. This was episode 10.
The last thing I saw, Tyreek was getting arrested on campus.
Oh yeah, that was the mid-season break. They came back like 2 or 3 weeks episode.
Because that mid-season break was only like a couple months ago?
Yeah, They came back with like 4 or 5 more episodes after that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I gotta watch that because only reason why I can't stand, I told you I can't stand Tyreek. Like I really I can't stand these little bubblehead kids that, and if I was Ghost, I'd be Jesus out of him. But low key, the only reason why I watch Power, that version of Power, one, just to see who Mary J. Blige gonna threaten with a gun next. And 2, because the nasty professor. She bad, bro.
Oh, Professor Milgram?
Yeah, she nasty.
You got some catching up to do on that one. I ain't even gonna give it away. You got some catching up to do.
Yeah, I know she got some shit with her, but she's still bad as hell.
Yeah, she bad as hell, but like I said, I'm gonna let you go ahead and you catch up with that, and then let me know when you done with that. Yeah, I'm not gonna give it away.
You strange. That's okay. Our Kind of People is okay too. If you've heard of that.
Yes, I have.
Morris Chestnut and Yaya DaCosta. There's a bunch of familiar faces in there. The brother that made the Terminator.
Oh yeah.
I can never remember his name. He's been in so much stuff. It's an all-black show predominantly.
And what's it called again?
Our Kind of People.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's not bad. It started off kind of like, what? Black people living like this, but then after a while you realize, well, I ain't gonna spoil it. If you watch it, let's put it this way: if you can deal with Empire, you can deal with it.
Oh, I loved Empire. Okay.
But it's the same producer.
Oh, okay. Got you. Daniels, Lee Daniels.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. All right. Well, bro, we got the Super Bowl coming up, my man. What you doing for the Super Bowl?
Man, I'm doing what I always do. I don't go to Super Bowl parties. I don't like watching sports with people. Like, I just don't. Like, my wife would tell you, I don't sit down and watch games. Philly, the Eagles, and the Cowboys play. Her buddy's up there in that bedroom watching her team, and I'm where I'm at watching my team. Yeah, I mean, that's why I respect the fact that I don't have a woman that likes my team, because then they want to sit with you. Let's watch the game together. No. I don't even go to sports bars. Like,
Oh, hell, man. You got to enjoy yourself some, man.
I enjoy myself when I can hear the commentary and I can pick up my remote and press rewind if I want to see, the play again for myself or whatever. John Madden spoiled me to that. Because John Madden was, you had to hear him. And if you sit in a sports bar, you can't hear John Madden talking and explaining stuff and this, that, and the other. And so, I've always kind of been that way.
Okay. Well, I respect it. But, hey, man, maybe I'll hit you up. Maybe I'll hit you up after the game is over on Sunday to see what's good.
Only sports, I'll say this, the only sports I watch is not actual, with people, is not actually sports. It's sports entertainment. I watch the WWE pay-per-views with my daughter.
What about boxing?
I watch the WWE pay-per-view. I don't even watch boxing no more. I told you.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I understand it's some legitimate dudes out there and this and the other, but once boxing became too politicized, it turned me off, and that was years ago. Yeah.
I don't blame you for that, but. All right, bro. Well, till the next time, man. You will definitely be on here next week.
I'm gonna send you, if I can find it in a version, I can just text it to you. I'm gonna send it to you, Mr. T, commenting on curling.
Okay.
The Olympics, the curling team. The guys that slide the big old things across the ice.
Oh yeah.
No one knew. Mr. T is a curling fan, and so he was doing a Zoom or whatever with the American curling team, and curling is cool, fool.
Yeah, send me that link. All right, well, I'll get at you.
All right, later, man.
All right, later. My man Tony to kick off, honestly, maybe the most funnest Sports Plus Life, the most fun Sports Plus Life episode that I've ever had. This has been an absolute blast for me to have all the callers that I've had on. And my man Doug was trying to call me. It was my birthday boy. My man Doug was trying to call me, from Germany. But, each time he hit me up, I was on the line with another caller. So I'm going to send you the link, bro. And definitely maybe we can get up next week. But yes. Oh, my goodness. This has been so much fun. And with that being said, where the buzzer. Oh, my goodness. What a show. Oh, man. Well, hey, Super Bowl week, NBA trade deadline week. It's going down, but I definitely want you to hit that subscription button and become part of the Sports Plus Life family. Yeah, I'm about to go downstairs and I'm about to cook my kids some ribs for dinner, okay? I'm going to Chef Boyardee it up. But again, it's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. Definitely a special shout out, special thank yous go to my cousin David, my bro Eddie, my brother Sean, my bro Keith, and of course Tony. Special shout out to all of y'all for making this show maybe the funnest show that I've ever had. Again, it's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns. I'm out this beer. Peace. I love y'all.